Crazy. Do. I'm back again. I'm back. I'm back. As a matter of fact, did you miss me yet while I was away? Oh no, now there's no video. This is crazy stupid. I see me. Can anyone see or hear me? Hello. Can you see or hear me? I can see me. Can you hear me? Yes. You can hear me? Oh my word. All it took was the usual turn it off and turn it back on. That's all you had to do. Why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Why don't you all go, Mario, turn it off and turn it back on? Well, now I've forgotten what I was going to talk about. All of that for nothing. Thanks for putting up with me. You're very nice people. Haven't wrote anything in the title or anything because I don't want to keep going through all that and then it didn't work. Yay! Yay indeed. So it was just a case of turn it off, turn it back on, the usual. You know, the thing that the professional comes in and says, "Did you turn it off and turn it on?" And you go, "No." And they do that and then they walk away and charge you a lot of money. I don't know why it wasn't working. I tried every conceivable combination of microphones that are on here, the camo microphone, the real tech microphone that's on the computer, turned it on, turned it off, tested it, it worked, 90 something percent working, and you still couldn't hear me. Shh, I can hear you. Stop shouting. So just turn it off and turn it on. That was it. That's all you had to do. Should have done that the first time. But I came out of YouTube, went back into YouTube, came out of YouTube, went back in, reset it up, reset it, reset it. No joy. So eventually it works. I don't even know if I need this if I'm talking through this or if I'm talking through the computer, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'll leave it as it is and then we can carry on. So the chase is a bit like real life and fake news. And you can believe the fake news. So, and it's not political. I'm just trying to make an example. Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump, doesn't want women to look after their bodies and abortion, etc., etc. Donald Trump is a dictator. All of this stuff that the news puts out, and if you believe it, then you've got the wrong information, so you're going to make the wrong decision. Because he's not a racist. He, is concerned about abortion and the free, exceptions that there may be, etc. He's not a dictator. He ran the country for 4 years, and there was no sign of him being a dictator, etc., etc., etc. So the information that you're getting sounds bad, and you make a decision based on that, and you vote for, or we're going to vote for a bloke that should be in an old people's home, and a lady that has no idea, what time of day it is, and probably casting aspersions on that, but she seems like she's on something to me. Forever giggling and not being able to, say simple things like we have an alliance with South Korea, and she calls it North Korea, the Republic of North Korea. So the chase, there is information that if you wholeheartedly follow, may lead you down the wrong path. That's not to say that there is truthful information that will help you understand that information that, by all accounts, is unfavourable. And it's up to the participant to make that distinction between what has been said and what is really going on. So there's two different worlds that you're living in now within the chase. There's the what has been said, the left, and what is really going on, the right, which is correct. So the stuff that's going on that is not real, it's not worth worrying about. You know, you have to find out the real truth behind what's going on in order to find out the real truth with what's going on, and then make your mind up accordingly. So Forrest said, at the end of the chase, you would find him in his car at the Denver Museum. Something to do with something in the boot. That didn't happen. Also said that CNN would be where we would hear what had happened. That didn't happen either. Now, at that point in time that Forrest, and again, this is not to cause upset or to, any pain or anything. At the time of Forrest passing, that didn't happen. And there was no mention of why that was not the case. I am certain, 100% certain, more than 100% certain, that if Forrest told us the end of the chase would be CNN and he would be found in his car at the Denver Museum, then that's going to be the case. And if for any reason it wasn't the case, Forrest would have put things in motion to make, not recompense, to create a satisfactory outcome. Something would have been put in place to make sure that how he wanted it to happen, it would happen. There's no reason to believe in everything that Forrest has said that is going to happen happens. So there's no reason to think that that wouldn't happen. The hard part of that is it's like Forrest knows the future. To create a treasure hunt over the time span that Forrest has done this is unimaginable. There's no chance. Nobody, and I'm not being horrible, but at that age, no one, 79 or 80, no one is going to think that they're going to be around 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line to see this through. And yet, it seems that Forrest knows that he's going to see this through, that he's going to make it happen the way that it's supposed to be, and that there's going to be a happy ending, or fun and answers, or epic, or however you want to. Hey, Steve. I'll say hello to everybody, by the way, then, because I said hello before, but you're all deaf. Must be shouting and nobody heard me. Casper, hello. Michael, hello. Steve, INFJ, Robert Reed. I love the way you leave that robbery. Ghost Dancer. I can show you a video right now of the New Mexico State Police telling Forrest to end it right now. No one is above the law. He said he couldn't end it. He didn't say he wouldn't. He said, I can't. Can't end it if I want to. I know the video you're talking of. But the statement from Forrest is, I can't end it if I want to. That's not, no, I'm not going to end it. And that is, a punch on the nose to all those people that say he pulled it. No, he couldn't end it if he wanted it to. If he wanted to, he couldn't end it if he wanted to. So how can he pull it? Like, there's people arguing about the things that Forrest Fenn did or didn't do, and yet they contradict. Forrest couldn't have pulled it if he couldn't have ended it. If he could have ended it, he would have ended it. But he couldn't, so he didn't. And that means he didn't pull it. So, the one statement, the early statement of I can't end it if I want to, is a smack in the face for those people that say he pulled it. It's impossible that he pulled it if he couldn't end it. Hi, you are back. No, I'm Mario. I don't know who back is. Yeah, I'm back. Thank you. Yes, I just turned it off and turned it back on. And, as usual, that's all you have to do in any issue that you have with computers or TVs or, remotes and that. This is what you do. Yes, park by the hot bronze walls at the handicap park. Well, I don't know about handicap, but at that, yes. No place of milk, blah, blah, blah. The rainbow lights, the pyrite, gold. Saying today, you can walk around the museum and that could be the poem. You start in a place, walk around the museum and that could be the poem. So yeah, I agree with you, Bill. Yeah. Because the poem wrote itself. Wonder why. Unfortunately, INFJ, yes. You have to wonder why. Like cardinal, another word for card, by the way. Songbird. So 4 cards and a joker. A card is a maverick and a joker. So you've either got 5 cards or 5 jokers or 4 jokers and a maverick or lots of different permutations within that. Hi MJ, how you doing? I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad everyone can hear me. Hey operator, could you hang on a minute? Let me just I don't know which hole. Put these blooming jacks in. I hope I'll give you the right line. There you go, trusted. Actually, I put you 420. I put you into 5705. Is that the one song? 5705. Just because he was told to end it does not mean he can. In fact, the Forrest said he could. Yeah, I said that. Thanks. This is the forever poem. It's the don't stop giving poem. What's that? How did they say it? And keep getting presents. I can't remember who I was talking to when I said it's alive. The poem's alive. You ask it a question, and it seems like, or the magic 8 ball, or whatever. You ask a question, it seems like it's always got the answer, and it's like, how is that possible? And trust me, I'm telling you stuff, and it's hard for me to make it credible, make it believable, make it understandable, make it, Davey will tell you, this is impossible. Anything that I see and read, in the poem should not be possible. And not just me. And that makes it even more impossible. So Tim K, Troy, Queen, Dutchman from the East, Steve GTA. There are other people that read the poem. All that information is impossible to be in there, to find it differently. And that's besides the 350,000 people that had souls. Granted, some of those souls are repeated, so, even if it's 50,000 solves, that's impossible. How can you get 50,000 solves from that poem? 10,000 solves, that's impossible. How can you get 10,000 solves from that poem? All right, 1,000 solves out, 350,000 people. There was only 1,000 solves, and 350,000, 35,000, whatever, however that works out, was shared between 1,000. So there's 1,000 possible solves out of 350,000 people. And you can either go up or down. All right, 10,000 solves out of 350,000 people. It's 35. 35 times 10, 3,500. So it's 350 times 10, I think. Whatever it is. No, 3,500 times 10. So many people went to the same solve if there's 350,000 people and didn't find it. There isn't a solve out there that is only for one person. If there's 350,000 solves, there's only so many warm waters. That means each possible solve has been visited over and over by different people, looking in different places. That's if there's only 350,000 people. Because out of those 350,000 people, some people went 20 times, some people went 100 times, some people went 200 times. It gets more impossible the more you think about it. And the worst thing about it is you have to think what if. And when you think what if, anything's possible. And that's crazy. I'm glad you got through. I hope it wasn't, urgent, because I'm not very good at this. This is all new to me, this operator stuff. And you call yourself a searcher, David P. Uh-oh, I missed something. Could you please give me the source document for the quote where he said, it's the same video that Ghost Dance has just been talking about. The sheriff told Forrest to end it. And he said he couldn't end it. And this is the bit that gets me. This is the bit that, not triggers me angry, triggers me frustrated. You people are supposed to be searchers. And then you ask basic questions about things that are in the chase or imply that those things don't exist. And that's crazy. And yet two people talking about the same thing don't follow through with what's been said. Forrest didn't say he wasn't going to end it. He said he couldn't end it. And that information, David, is the same information that Ghost Dancer's just been talking about. And people try to say that, the information that I'm talking about, show me where it is, show me where it is. But if you've been in the chase as long as you say you've been in the chase, it should be burned into your mind that these are the things that Forrest said. And I find it's so frustrating, those words, frustrating, that people ask questions about what Forrest said. And it's like, you should know all these. You should know more. You shouldn't need anybody to go, yeah, it was in this video or that video. You should say, yeah, I know the video you're talking about. Never needed to search, the answer is in a book. Never needed to search, the answer is in a book. No, you don't need to search. Nobody should be searching. So I did a video, but I haven't put it out. Hi, Asterix. How are you doing? Hi, David, by the way. The statement. Look, Forrest gave statements that told everybody exactly what it was that was going on, and nobody listens. But the statement, no one is going to stumble on that chest, is a statement that says, what does it say? What does that statement tell everybody? It tells them a lot of things, but what's the main thing that it tells them? Do not search for my chest. Do not search for it. Go right straight to it. You're not going to stumble on it. You're going to go right straight to it. So if you have a solve where you have to search, guess what? I've said all these things before. Guess what? You're going to stumble on it. And no one is. So you shouldn't even leave your house. You should never have gone boots on the ground. And if you went boots on the ground once, that should have been it. That should have been it. You should have realised, as I did, like an idiot, no one's going to stumble on this chest. No one is going to stumble upon the chest. It's in a place people would not normally go. Therefore, simple, if you wouldn't normally go there, there's no way you're going to stumble on it. Absolutely no way. If it's in a place where people would not normally go. So therefore, please listen. If it's in a place where people wouldn't normally go, if you find your solve is a fishing hole, is a public, well-visited, well-trodden place, it isn't there. And if it is there, it's in a place you wouldn't normally go. In that place. Maybe for a man, it'd be the ladies' toilets. But the trouble is, ladies would go to that toilet and the other way around. But it's in a place you wouldn't normally go. And he's not saying it to one or two people. He's saying it to 9 billion people on the planet that you're not going to stumble on this chest that is in a place you wouldn't normally go. I don't see how difficult that is. That you should never go boots on the ground unless you're going to get the chest. Not going to search for it. You are going to get it. And you know how you're going to get it? You know how you're just going to get out of your house, drive to the first clue? Do you know how? Because you know warm waters halt. Because if you got that, and the chest is in your hands. You see how simple it is? Everybody going searching. When Forrest said, don't bother searching. Don't bother searching. Do you know why he said don't bother searching? Of course you don't, because you're not paying attention. He said, if I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. There is no searching. He told you where it was. He told you where it was. And it doesn't sink in. And I find that hard to believe and very frustrating. That you, as real searchers, somebody says, if I told you where it was, you go right straight to it. What? These real searchers were told by the person who did this hunt, if I told you where it was, you go right straight to it. That's exactly what Forrest is saying. If I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. Oh, well, I've got 9 clues. I'm going to keep going. So he said, for you people that have 9 clues, that want to keep going, solve the first 2 clues, you're halfway there, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, but I've got 9 clues. I don't care what Forrest said. I don't care that he said it's the home of Brown. I don't care that he said it was only 2 clues. I've got 9 clues for 9 locations, and I'm going to the 9th location. So Forrest then said, you won't find it where you're looking. You won't find it there. Why won't you find it there? Because you walk straight past it. Even if you had the correct warm waters halt. You walk right past it because you followed 9 clues. And he told you, if I told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. And then he told you, just to compound it a little bit more, just to slap you around the face a few more times because you're not listening. If you know the home of Brown, why are you worried about the blaze? Why are you worried about that 9th clue? Or 10th clue? Or 11th clue? Or 8th clue? Or 6th clue? Whichever clue you want that to be. Why are you worried about the blaze? If you know the home of Brown. Well, Forrest, you said, if I've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down my quest to cease. That's why, Forrest. But I'll take on board what you said. Go right straight to it, the home of Brown. So therefore, don't argue with Forrest. Listen to him. If he's telling you, I told you the home of brown, you go right straight to it. If he's telling you that, and you know, if you've been wise and found the blaze, that's where the chest should be. Guess what? The blaze is at the home of brown. Has to be. It's not difficult. It has to be. If you know the home of brown, why are you worried about the place where the chest should be? Because that's where the chest should be, Forrest. Hang on though, Forrest. You just said, if I told you the home of brown, I go right straight to it. So therefore, the blaze is at the home of brown. So I don't need all those 9 clues. So therefore, my solve is wrong. So therefore, I deserve another turn. I'll have another go, try and work it out. And then he triples down and quadruples down and does all of those downs that you don't hear, because he said, if you have the home of brown, why are you worried about warm water's halt? What? What? Hold on, Forrest. What? I heard what you said, but it doesn't make any sense, Forrest. I heard what you said. I heard it. I was listening. I heard it. I've taken the blaze to the home of brown because you said that's where the chest is. If I was wise, look quickly down, quest to cease. Now you're telling me that the home of brown is more important than warm water's halt. And you said, if you didn't have warm water's halt nailed down, you got nothing. Oh, hang on. I'm listening. I'm listening, Forrest. Okay, I'm listening. Now you're telling me the home of brown and the blaze and warm water's halt is that what you're telling me, Forrest? Is that what you're saying? I'm listening, but everything that you're saying is very confusing and simple. Because you said, solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the chest. Can only be 2. Because if you solve the first 2 clues, you're halfway, more than 50% there, metaphorically speaking. More than 50%. What does more than 50% mean? 100%? Does more than 50% mean 100%? Could do. What if it does? What if more than 50 is 100? You're 100% there. Solve the first 2 clues. Remember the triple down, quadruple down, whatever the other words are for that? If you solve the first 2 clues, it's academic. Oh, ABCs. Easy as 1, 2, 3. It's academic. There's nothing else you need to do. It's done. There was only ever going to be 1 spot. Oh, why didn't I think of that? There was only ever going to be 1 spot. There was only ever going to be 1 spot. 1, not 9. There was only ever going to be 1 spot. You only need to look in 1 place. And you all say that you found this chest. No, you didn't. You couldn't have done. And Forrest said it over and over. No. Because you're not listening. And then people say, yeah, I found it. Solved the 9 clues. No, you didn't. Yeah, I know where the chest is. No, you don't. Why don't I? Because where your chest is, it's bone dry. It's dry. Yeah, but Forrest said the chest was wet. Exactly. And he said it because everywhere in the Rocky Mountains is wet. Exactly. But it doesn't matter. If your chest is in a place that's not wet, guess what? That ain't the chest. That ain't where it was. I know the chest is wet. He's telling you people that gave him solves that he's not in a wet place. It ain't you. But guess what? You didn't hear it. You didn't care to hear it. And it's a real place, because a real place. He's telling other people this spiritual journey, blah, 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 blah. No, he's telling people it's a real place. Do you know how he tells people it's a real place? Because people sent him pictures of it. They sent him pictures of a real place, a real warm waters halt. But they didn't understand the importance of the first clue. Solve 2 clues, walk right by the chest. Please listen. What does that say? Solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the chest. Unless you'll solve, remember the lady in there, do you find yourself doing a loop, Forrest? Unless you'll solve, because back to where you started, no, it ain't you. Because after the first 2 clues, or even after the first clue, they walked right by the chest. They didn't understand the importance of the first clue. Do you know how important the first clue is? It gives you the chest in your hands. That's how important it is. Without it, you don't have the chest. And if you finish the solve and you don't know why you've got your chest in your hands, when you know begin it where warm waters halt, it ain't you. I don't know how many times Forrest can say to people, it's not you, 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 with the information that he gives. But nobody wants to hear it. And that's crazy. And I find it hard to believe that you're real searchers, because I'm thinking, hold on a minute, if you're a real searcher, surely you'd be taking that on board. Surely you'd go, hang on a minute, Forrest just said the chest is wet. And where my chest is, it's not wet. Forrest just said, if you're walking more than a mile, you're walking too far. And I'm walking 5 miles. And it doesn't sink in. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. It's like, hang on, it doesn't get any easier than that. If I told you the home of brown, you go right straight to it. I've got 9 solutions. I'm going to my 9 places. Why? Is the home of brown your 9th clue? What? Is the home of brown your 9th clue? It's beyond crazy. It's beyond stupid to believe that you can have a solve where the 9th clue, where the blaze is going to get you a chest. And the home of brown, where Forrest said it was, is not. Now, you can argue all you want that Forrest didn't say it was at the home of brown, but that statement alone says it is. If I told you the home of brown, you go right straight to it. Just that statement. Forget if you know the home of brown, why are you worried about the blaze? Again, it says that. If you have the home of brown, why are you worried about warm waters halt? Again, it says that. Solve the first 2 clues, walk right by the chest. Again, it says that. The little girl from India can't get closer than the first 2 clues. Again, it says that. And all of those hints, clues, nudges, whatever you want to call them, they're telling you the same thing. They just told you differently. And I find it very frustrating that as many times as I've said this over 4 years or more, 4 years, I've said it in chat, but on video. What? Come on. Now, either you're just trolling, you're part of making it happen, you know, the chaos and everything that Forrest wants so nobody knows, or the government, or whatever it is that people believe, or you just don't want to hear what somebody says. You really just don't want to hear it. But I can assure you that everything that Forrest was saying was helping you know if your solve was correct or not, and know that you don't see a piece of yourself in the mirror and you deserve another turn, have another go. Because that's the best way to know if you're right or wrong. And that's the best way to start another solve. If Forrest tells you you're wrong, it's better that you hear it and can have another go than don't hear it and keep the solve that can't possibly be correct. And it's not a solve. It's a proposal. You all have proposal documents. You have a proposition where you think the chest may or may not have been. That's all you have. A proposition. Because there is no one. No one. There is no one. There's 350,000 people, all with different warm waters halts, all going down a canyon, all going no place for the meek, etc., etc., etc. All of you. And guess what? None of you, no one has any confirmers. None of you. It's just your own bias, your own thrill of the chase, your own made up answer that takes you to a place that's a made up answer. The blaze. You don't know what the blaze is. And don't pretend that you do. You think you know what the blaze is, but you don't know what it is. And you find the chest when you get to that point of the blaze. In your mind, you have an idea where the blaze is going to be, and then you search for something that might be a blaze. But you don't know. You have no proof. Never need to search the answer in the book. You never searched. David Boizano. It's not. Forrest said the hints will not lead you to the treasure, but they'll help with the clues in the poem. 100%. You know, I searched until I realised I did not need to. Yeah, nobody needs to search. That's great, David. Now solve the poem. Can't remember how many. Hi, everyone. Glad you got your PC working. Well, the PC was working all the time. It just wasn't working correctly. I just turned it off and turned it back on because that's what you got to do with these things. Okay, you lot have said so much, and I have talked so much that I have missed all those things that you have said. So I'm going to go back because that's the kind of girl I am. Uh-oh. Wow. So, don't fall out, people. Apparently, yet Forrest said there are only a few in tight focus, not hundreds. He never said he could not end it. He said he would not end it. I think he said, I think the words, listen, I think the words, even if I wanted to, doesn't mean I won't end it. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Well, I'm lost in thought. It is a dangerous place. Yeah, you shouldn't be lost in thought, though. You should listen to what Forrest said and then just act on those instructions. Teeth of the Rockies. I remember that well. There is a place. Where was I? Oh, always forget it. Always forget it. Begins with P. The Scout Place. Some teeth there. Poem says where it was. Poem does say where it was. 10 years had passed. I'm sure it was more difficult. Tom Petty. Is that Heartbreakers? Waiting. Well, as of now, the only prize is motorhome and 10,000. Oh dear. I think everybody's claiming that home, so Bubba, Leader, Hook, and Worm. Plop. Plop. It's not there anymore. Someone found it. It's definitely not there. Well, it could be there. The finding it and the collecting it, two different things. Everyone that say they are owed a chest did not find. And there is that, Davey rightly points out, you didn't solve the poem if all you did was find a chest. You found a chest, but you didn't solve the poem because the chest is just a lure. And please listen, I just don't get it. Well, I try and read this and be frustrated at the same time. And it wasn't any of you. That was a false statement. Homer Brown, go get it. Okay. Or me. You cannot, no shortcuts. How sad to watch people go off onto what they think is about. Lovers League. What is it about to you, David B? Only one way in. Why are you asking me, David? You sold it. Hi, Mama Q. How you doing? I'm trying to catch up. Oh, we've had fun. We have so much fun. It was unreal. Only 4 attempts to try and do the stream and no sound. So I had to turn the computer off and back on. Hammer Brown was several clues before the blaze, so you would have to be putting one foot in front of the other. How deep. I want to see if you're on the right track to solve it so I can help you get it. I don't no. If you solved it, you know what the chase was about and you also know critical information. Story that is important. Yes, because the home of Brown was the halfway point. Nope. Not need your help, David. The first two clues don't include the home of Brown. Ooh, you critical information came from the horse's mouth. David, you sold the poem, didn't you? Stop asking me for the information you don't have there. David, because you sound as if you know actual details we're not sharing. Well, we're told not to. That's the whole point. It's vital that nobody shares exactly. Don't know what that is. Nobody said it was over. 42 degrees is the answer to everything. I thought it was 22 degrees to get a rainbow, or 44 to get to. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 is the answer. Ticket, it went down in a blaze of glory. Totally agree. Morning. Mara, I meant. Laugh out loud. So, all I can say is solve poem and saying it's not over, it's still playing out, but the opportunity to be part of the plant has ended. Do you have to get to the last clue? Fenn said that one. He did. And that, I don't know if I said it on one of these streams or the one that I haven't put out. But Forrest said, the last clue is the most important because that's when you got the chest in your hand. But he also said the first clue is the most important because that's when you got the chest in your hand. So you have to listen to that. That's important. The last clue is important because that's when you have the chest in your hands. But you won't know you have the right warm waters hole until you have the chest in your hands. So which clue is most important? Do you really want in this video? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 42. 42 pounds. I'm simply confused. He did say that. Yes. Answer to everything is 42. Where the chest would have been. Can by myself that you have no answers to. Yeah, we'll give you the answers. Solve the first two clues, walk right by the chest. You've got 9 clues. Let's give information out. It is up to you. Information belongs to Forrest. 100% the information. Everything belongs to Forrest. This is all Forrest. This is not me. This is not Davey. This is everything that Forrest said. And the ability for you as a searcher, if you are a searcher, to say, oh, my solve is correct, or oh, my solve is incorrect, and I deserve another turn. And that's where we are. Hey. I'm expecting this shade. Did you get a handwritten note, Ben? Shout out to all the people in the chairs. Thank you. Hi, I am pretty discouraged at this point. I'm sitting approximately 30 miles from Blaze. Why are you discouraged then? 30 miles from the Blaze. That way. Are you that way? In the wood? Are you in the wood? You could be in the wood. I don't know how far it is, but you could be in the wood. There's a place called the Wood. You could be there. Good people. Hey, Newman, it's good to have you here. So Mary has a story or is telling a story. There is a story, but also story is email. Emails, says Fendi. Email. Story is another word for email or card or... So it's glad to be on, by the way. Ben, you go. Yes, if you're going live, Ben, I can stop. It only took me 4 attempts, Ben. I'm getting better. I came on no sound. I came on no video, no sound. I came on no sound. So I just turned it off and turned it back on and it worked. Hey, Mario, when did you and Davey part your ways? We haven't. We haven't parted ways. Davey had his own soul. I kid you not. A really good soul. Really, really good soul. And then we found together or discussed together the information. So there's a solution and then there's information about the solution. Fenn gave us a big hint, page 99. Maverick says a few confirmers that were at the spot have since been removed. Has somebody took away the frog? Maverick says, yes, the amusement park is now closed. Tigger, that's a good hint. It was in the book that was given away at February 2019. Oh no. There is no need for chaos. It is straightforward. The searchers are the ones confused. Yes, it was a good hint to everyone. Maverick Searcher, how many of them do you have? So why can't you state you agree with what Mario is saying about the poem solve in this video? Keep his answer that. Yeah, there is. The reason why no one, me and Davey don't answer is because we're told not to. Everyone was told not to. You know, Forrest says I wouldn't even tell my mother, and people say, "Oh, I've got the solve, and this is where it is." No, Zozo. One of the kiddos broke the screen, and the other is in some Fortnite tournament. So we actually Is who getting the information from us? Yeah. No, you won't get the information from us. The thing that you need to think about is Forrest said CNN, Forrest said in the car at the Denver Museum. Didn't happen. Taylor Swift new song title, no one is ever getting information. Yeah, especially after it was stopped because of the terror threat. Yes. Dave Barzano, I didn't take any. They were removed by others. Yes, 6 is the glue. I do not need your anything to you, trusted. Thanks, Ben. Taylor Swift new song called The No One's Ever. She only played broke the screen while Taylor's concerts have been cancelled. Dave Barzano been taken. You stated that both of you have not parted ways on the poem soul, so it isn't kind of super secret. No, I've told you the answers. In these videos, seriously, in these videos, I have told you the answers. From 4 years to now, that's if we're correct. And that doesn't mean to say we're the solvers. It just means to say that we have information that somebody else could have had already. But within this time frame, I have done my best to honour what Forrest wanted, but to also, be me. And Forrest said, the kind of person that finds that chest can't keep it quiet. I've told you what the answers are. I have told you repeatedly what the answers are. I have given you the information to find out for yourselves what the answers are. And you don't hear. I can't help that. But I've told you. I've even told you the trove and who Forrest is. I've even told you that. If you just listen. At least Bill Gorman has given us a solve. I've given you the solve. That's what I've just said. Why does that keep moving? That's what I've just said. I've given you the solve, but you're not listening. I haven't said to you, this is what the solve is and this is the answer. I've given all the information of the processes that I went through. And I have told you verbally what the answer is. I have written what the answer is. So just go over the 4 years of stuff. Mind you, I'll be stopping them soon. I've done some already, but you've had it. Just like you had it when Forrest gave you the answers. You had the answers all along, just like Dorothy. Just like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. You had it all along. You just had to listen to what Forrest said, work out if you were right or not. And at some point, it could only be one answer, or one answer for one thing. The other answer is a little bit harder, but that's the metal and resolve, the shift, the drift, the adjust. I told you, the simple answer to the poem for the chest, there is no magical formula. There is no super special way of doing it to find the chest. There isn't. Just listen to Forrest. I looked up all the words in that poem. It's risky to ignore any of the words. You don't need all the words in the poem, but it's risky to ignore any, especially the nouns. That's all you need. That's all you need to find a chest. I don't know how many times I've told you it. I really don't. But that's all you need. And a little bit of imagination. That's all you need. You thumbnailed the wrong Treasure Island movie version. Yeah, that doesn't sound. Did I thumbnail the wrong one, or did I not want to give you the right one? Solve is bigger than all of, and that's what I say, Bill. You know, people make out that they don't know anything, and then they say things like you just said. And I think, oh, you know more than you make out. And I know you know more than you make out because you were asked, what are you going to do if you find the treasure? And you said, well, it won't get me a trip to the moon, or whatever your answer was. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a random statement that you just made there, Bill. So there are people that know stuff, that I know they know stuff, and then they talk a whole load of shit. And I think, why are you talking a whole load of shit when you know half of what's going on? I'd like to ask for us for more time. Well, apparently, you know, Fendi knows that Forrest said the where and the when is up to the finder. So this could go on another 10 years. So you could have as much time as whoever the finder is wants. Mary's completely right. Oh, thank you. But I want to be correct. I think I'm going to make meatloaf. Anybody? Yes. Well, no. Yes to I'll have some meatloaf. No, I don't think I'll get the breadcrumbs to you in time. Somebody hacked the F out of Mario's stream. Video abruptly ended again. You just need the magic shoes. Yes. There's no place like the home of Brown. There's no place like the home of Brown. There's no place like the home of Brown. Click 3 times. Totally agree, Mary. Oh, I'm getting some good art. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I've said that, you know, people are agreeing with, but thanks. Tigger, I do. I'll tell you where. West Fork Cabin Camp, Cameron, Montana equals Brown parents owned. We know where. We've read it. Refresh to continue. I haven't finished. I'm still going. Everybody else is still chatting, I think. I don't know the half of it. I get it. Davey's still looking for a coattail to ride. Mystery tour to place. Davey's smarter than you're giving him credit for. I'll tell you that now. Let the games begin. Yeah, I won't worry about it, Davey. They don't know how smart you are. There is no need to be smart in the chase. There is only a need to listen to what Forrest said. Because Forrest is going to give you the answers. The only way you're going to get the answers is if you do listen. The finding a chest is very, 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 very simple. You listen to what Forrest said. He said, I looked up all the words in the book, in the poem. I looked up all the words in the dictionary for the poem, especially the nouns. I also said you don't need all of the words, but it's risky to ignore any of them. Talk about 2 different things, talk about the same thing. But if the person who wrote it, seriously, I don't get why people don't look them up. If the person that wrote the poem tells you he looked up all the words in the poem, I guarantee you it will do you a lot of good if you did that. Now, with that information and all of the other information that I've given you, including, and this is important, I have showed you the words. I have gone through the words for you and pointed out words for you. And I've gone past the words that you need to know, showed you them straight in front of your faces, gone past the words that you need to know to understand how to read the poem. But I've showed you words and what they mean, and that they don't mean what you think they do. But you're not interested. But I can assure you that and a little imagination. Don't need to do anything to the poem. You just need to imagine different words. Because Douglas Preston saw the first draft. Could he have seen the original words? Could he have seen the original words that were in that poem? And then Forrest changed those words. Because Douglas said it was too easy. How could he know it was too easy? How could he know? Unless he knew the answer. Now you know, all of you, everybody in chat now, everybody in the chase, the 350,000 people, all know that that poem, very ambiguous. It could mean anything. Anything. How can Douglas say it's too easy? Not because how can he say it's too easy? How can he say it's too easy without knowing the answer? We all thought it was easy. We looked at the poem and thought, oh, yeah, that's Warm Waters Halt. That's the Canyon Down. That's the Home of Brown. Blah, blah, blah. That's that. And that could be the Blaze. Let me go and have a look. So that's the best that Douglas could have done. The absolute best that Douglas could have done. I know where Warm Waters Halt is. Too easy. What? You won't know you got the correct Warm Waters Halt until you have the chest in your hands. But Douglas says it's too easy. Davey B, put your videos back up. You cracked me up, Trusted. You should be a comedian. Yeah, I mean, that in itself, if Pirate is saying, Davey B, put your videos back up, that in itself, Trusted, is telling you something. Some are still looking for Dorothy's ruby slipper. And some are still looking for the Wicked Witch of the West. Thank you, Forrest, for this wild ride of the chase. Yes, baby. Agree with you 100%, Robert. Thank you, Forrest. Major Forrest Burke Fenn, thank you for the thrill of the chase from years past and years into the future. The more you listen, the more you understand. 100% Queen. And that's it. That's exactly it. If you are prepared to, that's the word. I mean that word. If you are prepared to listen, not if you listen, not if you just, hear listening. If you're prepared to listen, if you want to take it in and you want to understand it, and then act on that. You can't just hear it. You have to act on it. You have to believe. I'm not telling you what I think you should do. I'm telling you what Forrest said you should do. And what Forrest said. And how that impacts the chase. Not my thoughts. The more I listen, the less I hear. Oh, I'm not the one seeking aid. I don't understand why you have to discuss. It's not about solves. And that is what you said, that you are asking proof for what Forrest said. No. I need a PhD. A crutch is a special place. So yeah, we all need a special place. Doug thought it was too easy because of Fenn's body rotting there. A lot of wicked witches in this chase. Yes, there is a lot of wicked witches in this chase. That is your thoughts, not mine. No one can think my thoughts. Exactly. That, that in itself, again, with all of that in itself sort of said, nobody can think my thoughts, says Forrest, which means it doesn't matter what you come up with. Absolutely doesn't matter what you come up with. Out of the 350,000 people, where there could have been 1,000 possible solves from New Mexico to Montana, and 35,000, however many, search in the same place. And nobody found it. 350,000 people. How many possible solves from New Mexico to Montana? How many possible where Warm Waters Halt from New Mexico to Montana? Not 350,000. Not 35,000. That means at least 10 people have searched in the same place, or 2 or 3 people in one place and 20 people in another place. But all of these words that Forrest said tell you, you won't find it searching. You have to solve the poem. You have to follow the 9 clues precisely. You have to solve the poem. Solve it. Now, you can, please listen, you can have a solution, not solve the poem. You can have a solution for a chest and have that solved for the chest. That's the best that you can have because that's all you've said you've got. I solved the poem. I found a chest, which is wrong. You found a chest. You didn't solve the poem. The poem is more than just a chest. The chest is just a lure. So how can that be the solve to the poem? There has to be something else. And if you did take the lure, that's what Forrest wanted. And he caught you. And all you got was the lure that he put out to get you. You didn't have the other stuff. So there is a proposal that you have of finding a chest. There is no solution. There's a proposal for finding a chest. But you couldn't have found a chest because you didn't hear what Forrest said. You didn't follow the 9 clues precisely. You followed 9 clues. That's all. You followed 9 clues. You didn't follow them precisely. You followed 9 clues to 9 different locations, which is not what you're supposed to do. So you effectively had a proposal that you knew where Warm Waters Halt was, and then you made up this blaze where there should be a chest. That's it. That's all you have. You have a Warm Waters Halt that you made up because you haven't got the chest in your hands, so you can't have done. You didn't have it nailed down, so you can't have done. So you started with nothing. You went through the poem with nothing, up until your last clue where the blaze was, which you made up. You don't know what the blaze is really. You just think this could be a blaze. This could be the blaze. And at that point, there should be a chest. And I'm going to look there and hopefully I'll find a chest. Or the chest should be there. And if it's not there, Forrest is a liar, or somebody beat me to it, or whatever. Forrest pulled it. You'll make the excuse, whatever excuse that you come up with, that everybody else is wrong and you're not. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Start from the beginning. Forrest said if you get lost, start from the beginning. Well, the beginning is Warm Waters Halt. Begin it where Warm Waters Halt. If you don't have that nailed down, that means you can't start. Don't say you can. You can't. It has to be nailed down. And you have to understand why. You'll know it's the correct Warm Waters Halt because you're able to have the chest in your hands. You're able to have the chest in your hands. You know the chest. You know exactly where it is, and it will be in your hands because of the starting point of your Warm Waters Halt. You understand the absolute importance of that Warm Waters Halt. Now, I know for a fact that you don't understand the importance of it because you have 9 different locations. That's not what Forrest said. So, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm not trying to be smart. I'm not trying to be clever. I'm telling you, this is what Forrest said. And this is a way of understanding the poem. And this is a way of understanding the chase. And again, I'll go back to people believe that Trump is these people, or is this person, because what is being told to them is not what it seems. It's not what it seems. And those words they're using, dictator, he's not a dictator. He was in office for 4 years. So you know what the truth is. He was not a dictator. So therefore, how can he be a dictator? So what you're hearing is not the truth, and yet you believe it. Well, some of you believe it, obviously some don't because they're Trump supporters. And this is not about politics, this is just trying to explain the chase. You can't just believe the bullshit. Well, that's probably the wrong word. The narrative. You can't just believe the narrative that's being given to you when you're being told, this is a narrative. You're being given a narrative. It's not what it seems. The words that you're given, they're not what they seem either, which means the poem is not what it seems. The words in the poem are not what they seem. You're told that. Straight to your face. The words in the poem are not what they seem, because nothing is as it seems. Nothing. Nothing. That includes the poem. Everything in the chase. Nothing is as it seems. But then, double down, remember, this is how Forrest does it. He'll say, and then he'll say, words don't mean what they think they do, what you think they do either. So not only is the poem not what it seems, the words are not what they seem either. And again, I'll tell you again, over and over again, the words in the poem can't tell you where it is. They can't. They're no different than the words in the Thrill of the Chase book. It's not written down anywhere. So those words that you're reading are not telling you where it is. It's not. It's hiding where it is. The fact that you try and work out the warm waters and you try and go down the canyon and you try and put in below the home of brown and you try and go from there's no place for the meek, and you try and heavy loads and water high, the end is ever drawing nigh, blah, 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 whatever. If you're doing all that, none of that means what you think it does. None of it means what you think it does, which means you're getting lost. And Forrest said, if you get lost, go back to the beginning. Why did he say go back to the beginning? Please, somebody, just a little spark. Why did he say go back to the beginning? It's the only place you'd know that tells you have the chest. If you have the correct warm waters halt, you have the chest. And the only way you'll have the chest and knowing the correct warm waters halt, if you have both of them. You know you have the chest in your hands, then you know you have the correct warm waters halt. So go back to the beginning. The beginning is where you will know it's nailed down and you will know you've got the chest in your hands. Now, to me, I don't see that is difficult to believe or hard to understand or any of the things that people seem to have a problem with in the chase. Especially when you add, solve the first two clues to it. It's like, I don't get how you can ignore the obvious. And, that's another thing that Forrest said. Something must be obvious to you by now. Yeah, that was some bad swimming. Oh, I don't know. You have to have Forrest fans, Blaze, and Forrest fans. You have to have, everything. You can't think what Forrest fan thought. So therefore, why does my camera keep moving in and out? I'm not even touching it. Is someone telling me that they're in my computer and that they can do whatever they want? I'm not the one. Can we not, if you're not going to just discuss the chase, why'd you have to fall out? The answer is just don't be a dick. I can't believe they swam in that river. It's always been drained. Something happened. Trusted living, you might be right. There are just a bunch of answers. Trolls out there. I am disabled, Trusted. Stop being an ass. Anyone that tells me that I do not have a soul without giving one themselves is a fraud looking for answers. I've not asked you for anything. And again, I've given you the soul and I've given you the answers. You don't want to work it out. You don't want to work it out. You don't want to do the metal and resolve to work it out. You don't want to shift, drift, and adjust to work it out. You don't want to be the one that's best able to adapt to work it out. You don't want to step on a crack. You don't want to touch. You don't want to do all the things that I've told you. You've been told what the answers are. Told. You've been told by Forrest and by me and Davey what the answers are. What they are. The answers. You've had them. The fun and answers, you've had them. If we are correct. And that doesn't mean to say that we're the solvers. That means to say that we have found information about the chase in the poem. That means to say that there's an answer to the chest that you all say you found that's in the Thrill of the Chase book, in that poem, reading the poem and just using a little bit of imagination. That's it. That's it. That's your solve. That's it. Post-it note. That is it. That's your solve. There is nothing technical about it. There is nothing difficult about it. There is nothing long-winded about it. There is none of this walking to the ends of the earth about it. That's it. That's it. But you won't listen because you want your solve to be the right one. Sorry, it's not. It can't be. Forrest said it was difficult, not impossible. Simple. When you hear, you will say, why didn't I think of that? There was only ever going to be one spot. Stop going to 9 different locations. There was only ever going to be one spot. How much more simpler can I make it than that? There was only ever going to be one spot. How many times have I said the same things that tells you what the answer is, how you can work out the answer, and you go, oh, nobody's given us a solve. You can't say anything about anybody else because you haven't given us a solve. Yes, you've been given a solve. But guess what? You're not listening. You want somebody to tell you what the answer is. That ain't going to happen. But you've been given the solve. Work it out. It's not difficult for the chest. For the chest that you all say you found, because you have no idea what the rest of the chase is about. But for the chest you say you found, work it out. Have a little bit of metal and a little bit of resolve and work it out. Some people are trying. Work it out. Shift, drift, and adjust. Move with confidence. One foot on the other. That's the hard one. The simple one, I've just told you. There was only ever going to be one spot. Read the poem, a little bit of imagination, look up all the words in the poem, get the answer. That's it. That's your solve. You're not prepared to do it. I can't help that. You're not prepared to listen that that's the solve. I can't help that. But you've been told hundreds of times that that's what it is. I can't help that you don't listen. And it's hard to believe that you're real searchers that don't listen, that say they want to know what the answer is, but they don't listen. We want to know what the answer is. We want to know what the answer is. We want to know what the answer is. I've told you how to find out the answer. I've told you how to find it out. And you're not listening. And that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years. It didn't take me 4 years to find the answer. If it is the right answer, it didn't take me 4 years. And I've been telling you the same information for 4 years. Now, if the information that I'm telling you is correct, guess what? You've wasted 4 years. You've wasted 4 years. And I've told you all. If Forrest wanted to take it with him, he could take it with him. He can take it with him. Because you can't solve it. You're not prepared to. You don't want to. You want to be right. That's all you want. Or you want to be given the answer. You have all the information needed to find the only possible answer that it can be. There's only one possible answer for the chest based on the information that Forrest Fenn gave. There's only one. There is only one answer that it can be based on the information that Forrest Fenn gave. There's only one way in as far as he knows. And you people have solves. You can get to it from any angle. And I have to throw my hands up in the air and think, what? What's going on? You have solves where it's dry. And Forrest said the chest is wet. And I throw my hands up and think, what? And I've told you all of these things that Forrest said over and over. And people argue that, no, Forrest didn't say that. No, yes, he did. Absolutely, he did. Now, there may be a paraphrase in there somewhere, but he absolutely said those things. And you don't want to listen to them, and you don't want to believe them. But I tell you now, I couldn't end it if I wanted to. He didn't pull it. He couldn't have done because he couldn't end it. The thing is, something was started and it had to finish because something ends the chase. Which means there is a planned ending and something must happen. Forrest can't just end it. Now, to take the chest back, that's possible. But to end the chase, no, it's not about the chest. As I've said 100 times to you, if it was just about a chest, can I make it happen like it's supposed to? Yes. Put the chest in the middle of the road. Someone's going to come along and go, oh, look, there's a chest in the middle of the road. I wonder what's in it. It's Forrest Fenn's treasure. I found it. Forrest, I found your treasure. You made it happen like it's supposed to. No. 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 Not about the chest. He can make that happen. Simple. He can end it if he wants. He can go back to it and get it if he wants. It's not about the chest. The chest that you all keep saying you found, the solve that you all keep saying you have, it's pathetic. It's stupid to believe that it can be actually right and correct. It really is. It really is. That it was just about a chest. That is, no, no. It's not just about a chest. And if you say that you've solved a poem because you found a chest, you're either a troll or greedy or stubborn or arrogant or any word that, fits in with that. You know yourself it was just a lure. So therefore it can't be the solve to the poem. It can't be. That's just simple logic. It cannot be the solve to the poem. It can't be. If the chest is just the lure, just a thing to drag you in, just a thing to get you interested, just a thing for you to nibble on. If you nibbled on it and you had that chest, guess what? You didn't solve the poem. You're dangling on the hook. That's all you're doing, dangling on a hook. You didn't even find a chest. A chest you found, but not the chest. I don't know how many times I can tell you the same thing. You're all supposed to find a chest. 350,000 people found a chest. All right, 300,000 people. 50,000 people couldn't work it out. But that means 300,000 people had 300,000 warm waters halt, 300,000 canyons, 300,000 from there it's no place for the meek. All of that stuff. Homer Brown, Andy's Ever Drawing Nigh, Heavy Loads and Water High. 300,000 of them. No way. No way. Never in a million years, 300,000. No. No. There wasn't 300,000 solvers of the Forrest Fenn poem. Which means everyone that claims that they are the solver has to be wrong. Because there is no confirmer other than your belief. You should be able to tell somebody what the answer is and they'll go, oh, son of a bitch. Why not I think of that? Not, yeah, it could be, yeah. I suppose it could be Warm Waters Holt. I'm not too sure about your Homer Brown though. Yeah, I disagree with the End is Ever Drawing Nigh. No, that's not Heavy Loads and Water High. You can't have a solve like that. That's pathetic. You say, well, people read my solve and no one's, argued against it. I don't need to. No one agrees. Nobody agrees with somebody else's solve. They say they do, but they don't. Because, I agree. I agree with everything you said. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. But I'm the solver. Well, you don't agree then, do you? How is it you agree? I agree with what you're saying. Yep, I believe. Yeah. But I'm the solver. Well, then what's the point of agreeing with them? All this about San Lazaro and everything else. Nope. No. So trolls, real searchers, I don't know. But I do know if you are real searchers, you need to listen. Like I admit it, Chasing hired me to be a troll. Now tell us what your part. I haven't got a part. I'm a searcher. I searched. I went to America, had the worst time of my life, realised that I was an idiot, a dick, whatever I said to myself, Mary, you're fucking stupid. No, Mary, you've learnt two things today. One, you're stupid. And two, you're fucking stupid. No one's going to stumble on that chest. Nobody. There is no going out to the flipping place and searching for a chest. There's none of that. None of it. And it's in a place where people would not normally go. So there's none of that either. There's none of that either. Now, anybody who doesn't know the poem, not a searcher. No way. Never ever. Not a real searcher. Never ever going to be a real searcher in my eyes. Ever. Because you would know that poem off by heart. Now, you can be trolls. You can be real searchers. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to tell anybody what the answers are. Even though I have. Even though I have. And I feel guilty about saying the bits that I've said. Because I don't want to screw it over for Forrest. But I've done the very best that I can to be as honest with people as I can in regard to the thrill of the chase. And give you the information that I think will help. And I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right or correct. But I am so sure. That's what Forrest said. I wasn't intending that, but that's what he said. Sure for the one that did. I am so sure, absolutely sure, that it can't be anything else. Absolutely can't be anything else. Based on everything that Forrest said, there's no guesswork, there's no deduction. With everything that Forrest said, it can only be this answer. There is only one way in, as far as he knows. The chest is wet. Did the hot water affect the patina? Oh, they thought they got a clue. Maybe they did. So you put all those things together. Solve the first two clues. Little girl from India can't get closer than the first two clues. Told you the home of Brown, you go right straight to it. If you know the home of Brown, why are you worried about the blaze? If you have warm water's halt, why are you worried about... If you have the home of Brown, why are you worried about warm water's halt? It can only be one place when you factor in everything that Forrest said. And that's just for the chest. But then you have to factor in, has to be simple. It has to be, oh my God, no. Sorry about that, but it has to be that. It has to be, you're kidding me. I knew that. I knew that was it. That's how it has to be, for the chest. Which was the lure. Now, to solve the poem, that's something totally different. Totally different. And you have to count on everything that Forrest said in order to get there. And I mean everything. Even bits in the book that would help you. Even the statements, if you die with more than $50 in your pocket, you're a failure. You earned more in the last 15 minutes than I've earned, blah, blah, blah. Information like that that says, oh, crap. Man is just a tease. I'm not. I've told you the answers. I've told you the answer. I've literally told you the answer. Your best revenge is me wearing the bracelet. I've told you 100 times. It's in a safe place. I've told you 100 times. I've told you the answer, just like Forrest tells you the answer. I've told you it. You just have to hear it. You just have to hear it. There's no teasing going on. You just have to be prepared to put in the effort. And, then it's done. Trusted is truly busted. I don't know what that... Sure Bracebridge Hall is near you. Don't know who he's talking to. Don't know Bracebridge, what that is. Well, Kiwi, how you doing? How's the day? How's the bird? Anyways, hey Kiwi, same old, getting berated. I do like how you think, Mario. Cheers, Rob. I like how I think. But like I say, there's no smarts. Mario, you use any more background fade, it's putting hair on your head. Is it? Oh, right. If I just... I don't know. How come my camera's moving? It never used to move like that before. It's like... It's like... Oh. It's like... It's like those horror films where you see something, it's like, ah, and then the camera goes... Well, I'm sorry if that's upsetting you, because, excuse me, it's getting to me a bit. Like it's moving by itself. I didn't know. At least the microphone's working. It wasn't working before. I think Mario is confused. Oh, cheers. I don't think I'm confused. Confused.com. He says not searching, but then he talks about Homer Brown. I don't talk about Homer Brown. I'll tell you that Forrest talked about the Homer Brown. Forrest told you the Homer Brown, not me. And no searching. There is no searching. I assume communication is why we can't leave each other alone. Along with feelings and hi Codex. Oh, Codex. The Codex. Not with a CAUDX, a CODEX. Some of you guys need to learn how to live and let live. Don't let frustration go. Yeah. My issue is not that, I want to argue with anybody. It's like, why can't you hear what Forrest said? That's the frustration I have. It's like, I'm just telling you what Forrest said, and then you can work out with all that what it's supposed to mean. Excuse me. Yeah, it might have even had a triality, whatever that is. Forrest said, I told you guys enough. He absolutely did, Robert. He just, I don't know. I don't know if he could have, I don't think he could have said any more than he did say. If he had never said, I'll say this over and over and till the day that I die, I'll say it. If Forrest never said anything, if he just gave us the book, no chance. Never ever. None of it. Not the chest, not the secret treasure, not his identity, nothing. And it's hard to know whether he wanted us to know or not. It seems like he wanted us to know, and it seems like he knew how it was going to play out. And yet, how do you know you're going to live to be 94, 95? And tag on another year at the end of it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, maybe there were two Homer Browns. I won't answer that. I beg to differ, Mario. Yes, and most people do. But that's fine. I'm not going to argue it. I'm still having a good time in the chase. Good on you, Robert. And that's what's supposed to happen. Everyone's supposed to be having fun. Answer me this question. When was the last day you worked on solving the poem? The last day I worked on solving the poem was before I started doing these videos. So whatever day that was. The day that I sent Forrest an email was the last day I was trying to work out what the answers were. But I do use the poem to find out what's going on in the chase. And I show you it. I tell you about what's going on in the chase. The information that you get, I don't know how Forrest knows. So I've said before 100 times, either Forrest wrote the poem, then found the information himself in the poem, and then gets these people to do whatever it is that he wants them to do. So David, if you're being paid by Forrest, you will do the Fenn ghost and say certain things, and I will be able to find that in the poem. Or Ben and Ashley will say and do things, and I'll be able to find that in the poem. Or K-Pro will do things, and I'll find that in the poem. Or Synth will do things, and I'll find that in the poem. Whatever. So either he wrote the poem, he found those things, and you're all involved, and he's making you all do these things, and I'm able to find it in the poem, and he'll know that I can read the poem, or that we can read the poem, me and Davey. Or he predicted all these things. Both of them are stupid. Both of them are crazy, because that means all you people have got NDAs or whatever, and you're not going to say nothing, that you're helping Forrest do this. And yet, I can understand why, like, doing it, but I can't understand why you pretend to be searchers as well. I don't get that. Like, just do the show and you'd have to pretend to be a searcher who wants information. But it is what it is. Wow, you lot are going quick, excuse me. It's super secret info. No, it's not super secret info. It's just secret. If you're not found treasures along the way, the chase is not up your creek. Forrest said he took 2 trips and maybe had boots in the Airbnb to him around. Dave Paisano, it's super secret info. If you told us before, can you tell us again? Which bit? Do you have a day? People pride is in the way. I'm enjoying life beyond the thrill of the chase as best as one can do and hope the best for you too. Cheers, Kiwi. That's all good stuff. By June 6, 2020 as an answer. Try June 6, 2020 as an answer. What, that I last worked on the poem? I know when I last worked on the poem. I will always love the TTOTC. Yes, made me a better person. It was announced on June 6, 2020. Yeah, but it's hard to believe that someone makes a statement like that. If it's possible to be the solver, when would be the last time you worked on the poem? The day that it was announced? I don't think so. I don't think you last worked on the poem the day that it was announced. No. So try something earlier, maybe, than the day that it was announced. You wouldn't be working on the poem to find the answer to the poem on the day that it was announced the poem was solved. And if you were working on the poem the day that it was announced, I don't know. I don't know why you would be. I don't know why you'd be working on the poem the day that it was announced that it was solved. Wife's treehouse got a new window today. Woo! There are so many hints about him coming back. Woo! Yes! My list just goes from TTSC book, the pages. Yes, the rebirth, the I don't know, almost like Jesus, isn't it? But the why is it that I must go? I'm going to write a book title at 90. I'm going to choose, when I die, I'm going to tag another year on and blah, blah, blah. I wonder. So it might have been solved before you ever stopped looking. It could have been solved anytime. David, I've told everybody. I'm not saying I'm the solver. I've never claimed to be the solver. I'm saying I have information. And I don't care if I'm the solver or not. I don't care if David B is the solver or not. I care that Forrest made it happen. If I cared that I was the solver, by June 6, 2020, I would have made sure, come hell or high water, that I would have found a way to get to America. I would have found a way. And I would have given Forrest more information than I gave him. Literally, more information than I gave him. But guess what? Have a little guess. The chase does not finish if you find a chest. It doesn't. It doesn't finish if you find a chest. It may start. It may make Forrest go if you find a chest. Forrest may have to go if you find a chest. And leave his trove for all to seek if you find a chest. He's done it tired. and now he's weak. If you find a chest, and I've already told you lots of different times that those words that don't mean what you think they do could say something different. Excuse me. I'm born again. I do not need to, Dave. I don't know what that was. Maybe the day before it was announced. Yes. Maybe the day before it was announced, but not June 6, 2020. And, excuse me, and just for the sake of argument, it may be possible because I'm in a different time zone. My June 6, 2020 came before your June 6, 2020. Oh, isn't that what the argument is about? Did he tell him on the 5th or did he tell him on the 6th? Davy B is further ahead than me. Was it Davy? Did Davy speak to Forrest and tell him on the 6th, but the 5th for Forrest? Maybe these time zones, get a little bit awkward. When was it actually announced? Was it the 6th, the day? I'm 2:25 into the 12th. You're not. You're still on the 11th. If I tell you I found the chest today, did I find it on the 12th? Of course I did. But you would argue that I found it on the 11th because you're on the 11th. But I know when I found it. I found it on the 12th at 2:25. And you'll argue that it's, I don't know, 8:40, 8:25 or something, 7:25. You'll argue that on the 11th. That's a bit weird, isn't it? That there's a little bit of a It is amazing how you can puzzle people who joined late and do not have all the information. But then you look up all the information, don't you? When you join late, you look up all the information. Well, I have the exact same information that you had, even if you joined in 2010. Playboy interview, the 2013 November 4th interview, blah, 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 Lorraine Mills, blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't matter when you joined. What matters is your ability to listen to the information. And if you did find a chest, so it's not in it. Trove is after you go in peace. Yes. And, that's what I've said. The trove is after the chest. If you want the chest or if you want the trove. But those people that say they solved the poem by finding a chest did not solve the poem by finding a chest. Then you what? David B, then why are you here if you are satisfied? We're here for Forrest. That's why we're here. This is Forrest Fenn's thrill of the chase. This is Forrest Fenn making something happen the way that it's supposed to be. This is Forrest Fenn taking his last flight to a place where even memory hasn't been. And you all seem to forget that. You seem to think it's about you and your souls and you finding the chest and everything's about you. It's not. It really isn't. It's about Forrest Fenn and him achieving something that, you couldn't even think about. I couldn't even think about. Not just, one thing, lots of things that, he brought together and made something happen. When don't matter, then does. I thought it started in 2009. It could have started in 2008. It really did start in 2009, but it could have started in 2008. Though you don't. Yet Forrest Fenn's chase was only public when the book was published in 2010. I started my chase over 30 years ago. We are here for Forrest Fenn, not trolls or drama. Yeah, I don't get why people want to argue stuff. It's just You know, Forrest, just don't believe that people don't read page 15 and don't understand the importance of it. Just read page 15 and see if it involves you in any way whatsoever. See if a searcher finding the chest has anything to do with page 15. I can assure you now it doesn't. And if it does, it's in the smallest minute detail in order that Forrest has to go and make this happen. What exactly is he achieving by you doing this show? It's not about Forrest achieve. Forrest is going to achieve what he achieves. Me doing these shows, me doing these shows, is about me doing these shows in order to help you understand that you didn't have a solve of the Forrest Fenn poem. That it wasn't about the chest that you all think it is, and that Forrest Fenn is not a liar, Forrest Fenn is not a fraud, and Forrest Fenn is going to make it happen, or has made it happen, or however that comes about. I've already told you, if Forrest Fenn was trying to make a mansion, and on this mansion he needed a tennis court, a football pitch, an ice hockey pitch, blah 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 blah. If he needed all these things on this mansion, once the mansion is built, Forrest is able to live in that mansion, and his aim has been achieved. Whilst all the other frilly bits haven't been achieved, the mansion's built and he can live in it. And I think that's where we are. The mansion's been built. It's been built. Forrest could, if he wanted, live in that mansion. And now there are some little things that need to be done. Technical things, legal things maybe. But the mansion itself is done. Now Forrest makes it happen the way it's supposed to. Only Forrest knows if he's achieved his aims. But what this was about, it wasn't about a chest. Who Forrest Fenn is? Now, if you know who Forrest Fenn is, was, has been, will be, whichever way you look at it, if you know that, then you know what it's about. Absolutely know what it's about. And you know what the hairs are for. You know what they're going to say. You know what they're going to prove. You know why they were given. They weren't given. They weren't given to prove that he hid a chest in the Rocky Mountains. And you know that. All of you know that. He did not give those hairs to prove that he hid a chest in the Rocky Mountains. You know that. So I'm not building anything for. This is for more for the searchers than anyone else. I think Forrest would prefer it if I didn't say anything. I think Forrest would prefer it if I did not say anything. But that's not me. I'm trying to help people realise that Forrest is not a fraud, that this chase is exactly what Forrest said it was, and it's supposed to be fun. There's no reason for people to fall out. Nobody knows what the answer is, so how can you fall out? You're potentially having a test and you're arguing that the person next to you has got the wrong answer, even though you don't know if you've got the right answer. That's crazy. Absolutely. Global disaster coming soon. They are crashing the internet and VPNs. Ooh. Wow. Just look in the poem. It might tell you. What about a custom swimming pool? Yes, probably that as well. But heated and indoor. I demand a cement pond. We all have a right to our opinion. Ah, Richard's retracted. Tag debit. Drop it like it's hot. Oh, is that a potato? No matter what. Maybe the hairs came from the head that was scalped that the government reaper. That's making it sound like it's a old Finder solve is not important in this. You all think being a finder is what it is all about. It is not. As a finder solver, you are insignificant in the big picture. Absolutely. Whilst there could be, if Forrest chose, I've talked to people and I've said, look, if Forrest wanted to take it with him, then he could still take it with him. He could still take right now. He could still take it with him. And there's one person here, well, two people that won't say nothing. Won't say a dicky bird. Forrest could take it with him if that's what Forrest had intended. I don't think it is because of everything that's gone on. But if that was the case, and you all have the information to help you find out what it is, but even when you find out what it is, once Forrest takes it with him, it's going to be a lot harder. I really mean that. It's going to be a lot harder to rob his grave, as it were. What that is, Richard. Beats fist twice on chest and then points at back at you. Thanks, brother. The story, the one you must have, is important and factual. Figured Dale could use that skill. I could use it. Atomic Dog. You are all sinners and worthy of worms. Repent, the end is nigh. The code in the O.com. Michael P. The hunt that David Blaine created ties into the thrill of the chase. And the Houdini mansion was up for allowing people to enter the property. Did he escape from that? Really? That says, or could say, no, I'm not sure what it means now. Latin, regina, R-E-R-E-R-E. Drop it like it's hot. The chase has to end if Forrest is 100% correct in everything that he wanted, with Forrest in his car at the Denver Museum, because the Arizona Museum is out of the picture. It's not relevant. And by all accounts, there should be something in the boot, and the chase ends with a clump of a boot. So it's quite plausible that if Forrest is in his car at the Denver Museum, and there is something in the boot, which may even be the chest, then in order to get the chest out, you have to open the boot. And once the chest is out, you have to close it. And with the closing of it, you will get because the chest is waiting for So it's quite possible to believe that this is how it has to end. I'm not making anything up. I'm not trying to force fit anything. I'm telling you the absolute fact of what Forrest Fenn said. And that's all I have done. Forrest Fenn said this is what it could mean. Forrest Fenn says this is what it could mean. Forrest Fenn said this, and this is what it could mean. Because you have to listen to what Forrest Fenn said. Now, if you're making answers, decisions, whatever you want to call them, out of your own thoughts, no, it's not what Forrest said. No one can think my thoughts. So you can't think what Forrest Fenn thought of. So therefore, your solve has to be incorrect. Because you're trying to think that's what Forrest Fenn did. And he's telling you can't do that. Which means you have to be told. You have to be told. I don't see how you can't get that. I really don't. You have to be told what the answer is because you can't think how Forrest Fenn thought. Oh, I'm missing stuff. So instead of Charlotte providing answers, he sent them to Mary and David B. No, Charlotte didn't send us nothing. The legal documents. The first court case would have truly ended the chase. Rockerville was the clue in the picture to align 41 degrees. Rockerville was up for sale and was ghost town. Ghosting was the pictures of the picture. Ghosting was in the picture. Well, I'm hoping that Forrest Fenn is not a ghost. David P. Thongs are not what they say. Very clever. Agree, Davy B. Always entertaining, Davy, and have fun. Yeah, it's interesting. I am waiting for fun and answers. Funsers. Yeah, but you could be having fun right now. Instead of arguing and moaning and bitching, you could be having fun right now. The information that I've given you will allow you, off your own back, to come up with answers and have fun while doing it. Off your own back. You can find your own answers. And trust me, please, trust me. If you did it, it probably wouldn't take you long. It probably wouldn't take you long to get the answer for a chest. A simple answer on a post-it note for a chest. Knowing what the chase is about, that's something, totally different. And a whole load more goes into that. Not that a lot didn't go into this, but you have to factor into it that you've been told how to do it. Whoever the solver was would have to start from scratch. But you've been told everything that you need to know. You just have to hear it and then act on it. Things. Oh, not thongs. Thongs sounds better. Thanks for that, there, Casper. And that's what Forrest said, to have fun. So, Charlotte provided the fun and answers already. He was having fun with you by not giving answers. Well, the code in the o.com, tell Ben so he can have a shave. I think that's cruel of Charlotte to do that without telling people. Unless they got a handwritten note. Well, I think the Pandora's box was opened. Yes, I think you said that somebody was opening it. But David P., you said you solved the poem. I like G-strings. I like short shorts. Why would you credit the end? There was never part of the chase too far to walk. Is the inheritance to the family. The thrill of the chase belongs to the finder to complete the chase. Well, the when and the where apparently is up to the finder. If he, they want to. And I think Davey answered that. If he, they want to. You scratch the devil. It is up to the finder, solver. Yeah, the what, when, and the where is up to them. But my favourite word from the chase is yes, and mine. 100%. 100%. Followed by flutterby, but whiffadil, absolutely. Amazing word. Itchy and scratchy. J. Old Scratch meets Old Moses. There is something the chest the finder will like. If you all found a chest, what is in it that you would like? Ooh, can I answer? Can I answer that one? Yeah, you've seen it. You've all seen it. The thing in the chest, I mean, people say no, it wasn't in there, but it was in there. There's something in the chest that the finder will like. You had to have seen it, or you have seen it. It's been talked about. But you don't realise how important it is. Chest on equals chest on. Moses Omega Man equals president of the National Rifle Association. No specialised knowledge there, is there, Bill? No specialised knowledge there, is there? The 1 minute you go from saying something really, really incisive. Yeah, incisive, whichever it is. No, not Twiggy. Although if she was in there, yeah, I would like that. It's something playing a bit part. Is that you? What did the lathe say to the something stick? I don't know, David Paisano. What did the lathe say to the hidden by the heart stick? Oh, to Rudy's stick. The dozen Middle Eastern coins that are undated were never mentioned in the micro chest. Has anyone actually looked at the chest buried? It's only 5 inches. The dozen Middle Eastern coins that are undated were never mentioned in the micro chest. Yeah, but the 5 fake ones were, and they're important. And something in the chest, the find will like. Deserve another turn. The chest, each solver found. What is it that you would like? F said there is something in the chest the finder would like. Yet none of the finders have said anything about it. No, they don't know what it is. Richard, twig means to understand or realize. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh, I didn't know he was asking for confirmation of that. Yes, a twig does mean, or to twig does mean to realize. But there was also a key, and there was also some coins. I don't know if the finder was going to like a twig saying that you've twigged, unless he was being asked, have you twigged? Do you see what's in the chest that you will like? Because the twig itself, if I was the finder, I didn't like the twig. The twig wasn't good, but there was something in the chest that I was like, ooh, I know what that means. Tigger, close enough. I'll give you a whirl. There's no room for oops. The rusted out gold coin means it's not gold because rust does not transfer to gold. 100%, which means it's fake. Or another word for fake. Associated with the thing in the chest that the finder would like. So to me, it was like, oh, that's not real. That's not real. It's not real gold. Wonder what that could mean. He plugged bullet holes in coffee pots with twigs. It was shot. Yes, he did. He did. He found a coffee pot with a hole in the bottom that was leaking. And he put a twig in there to stop it. And then they drank some stuff and killed something that he'd rather not talk about. Don't say. Don't tell. Do you get that message in the thrill of the chase? Is it like a theme running through the thrill of the chase? Don't say anything. Keep quiet. Stay mum. Didn't even tell his mum. Mum's the word. So he plugged the kettle. They killed an animal that he didn't want to talk about. If they didn't change direction soon, they'd end up where they're going, something like that. The water turned into a trickle, something that even walk to a hole or something that water couldn't get through or whatever. It was rust, like the ones on his paints. Kind of like Oprah's favourite things. He put with that. You, and you. Forrest. Got 4 rust stains. Rusty was his dog. I thought it was Tasuki and Willie. Ethanol is not pine fuel in the chase. No, it's tea or coffee. Don't know what he called it. I can't remember if it was coffee that he called it or tea, but it didn't taste nice. Forrest found Hemingway himself. He didn't want to talk about it. Oh boy, I am full. I thought your name was Tigger. A TIG is also a switch. Yes, it is also. Is it a plant? Could it be? Oh, I can't remember now. Might get mixed up, so I'm not going to say it. I was going to say lure, but um, if the chest was not real, what was in that the finder would like is very not real either. No, but is real. So, whilst the chest might not be real, what is in the chest, if the finder understood what it was, that is very real. That's real. And the finder will go, ooh, ooh, and would explain, well, I'm not going to say it now because it would give away, but it would explain one of the statements that Forrest made that is like, and I've already given it out, that statement. But if I say these things in the same sentence, it would give it away, I think, or at least point you in the right direction. Rust where the idiot pulled the trigger. Reaction makes a gun do anything. Yeah, there should be nobody. Forrest said, stop searching. A idiot pulling the trigger. Rust was the shooting movie. Forrest played Make a Deal at the end. Take the chest and go in peace. Take door number 2. So if you took the chest, for me, taking the chest was to donate it back, because that's what Forrest said. The chest was always going to go back. So potentially then you could just have the jewels that's inside, potentially. But that's not how I saw it. How I saw it was the chest and its contents was going to go somewhat, maybe the Denver Museum, maybe in that room that Capo went to. Special special hiding place for people to go in to have a look. But the chest was going to be donated back, so therefore you weren't going to get the chest. So it's possible that what was said was, you can have this, or you can have something else, if you knew what something else was. But Forrest said, I put an IOU in the chest and then I took it out because I didn't know if my bank was still going to be there. Again, seriously, these are really important statements that I'm making to you. More so than you obviously don't realise. But that statement, along with the other statements that I could have made now, would have just told you exactly what it was. I didn't know if my bank was still going to be there. So he took the IOU out. I think, did he take the money out? Take the money out as well. Then I would assume that he did. I can't remember 100% now. Something to do with the water, but again, the chest is wet. What was I going to say? If you die with more than $50 in your pocket, you're a failure. Why would he give you however much money was in there? Why would he leave you an IOU if he's telling you that to have more than $50, you'd be a failure? And yet he's saying, here's some money. I don't think so. I don't think so. He started the chase maybe by ending his life. He always said he was going to end his life when he wanted. He was going to write a book at 90. That's what he did. He's going to tag on another year. Knowing why Forrest created the chase is completely different to thinking you know. Rust in peace. His chase is over, not ours, till we each turn 9. Well, like I say, the mansion's built, so potentially his chase is over. Now, at that point that his chase is over, potentially his chase is over, he could still decide to take it with him. The effort involved by Forrest was much, much more than any of us in the chase. Much more than any of us in the chase. The ability to think of all of this and make it all happen way more than anything that any of us, done. Aluminium does not rust. Door number 2 is 1021 Old Santa Fe Trail. There may be information at 1021 Old Santa Fe Trail. Aluminium does not rust. Nickel. Aluminium corrodes. Aluminium? Aluminum? You say it differently, don't you? Aluminum. That's aluminium. David P. I chose door number 3. You could ask David B what that means, but he hasn't a clue. Hey, did anyone see the short that Barbara? Yeah, that was interesting. I've come for my stuff. There's this woman, she's trying to beat the crap out of me. No, I'm not. I've just come for my stuff. Oh, there's so-and-so. Maybe he'll give me my stuff back. He left the solver all but $50. I think he'd leave $49.99 because he wouldn't want to leave him, he wouldn't want him to be a failure. Snoop Double G. My father has many mansions. Ooh. We never had one. It would be titled to the gold, aka AU. Oh dear, trusted, you silly. Taking anything with you is the future's treasures of the continued chase. Oh, to the continued chase. Taking anything with you is the future treasures to the continued chase. If I was younger, I'd dig up the whole landfill to find that car. I thought he said if he's younger, he'd go back and get it. Yeah, I showed Forrest a video of the car that I saw. That was very interesting. And I don't know how he got it into that place, or how it was in that place. It's impossible to be in that place. There is no way. Well, there obviously is a way because it was in there, but you wouldn't think it when you saw where it was. I bought into the thrill of the chase like Forrest Fenn was convinced the Vietnam War was just cause. No more ways began, and I'm not sure. Yes, the reality of that is not what you think it is. So not just. Maybe there was a secret Forrest had because of it. Funny that there's a milk truck in the pasture that had been jumped and turned over. F must have been. Ernie drove the fastest milk cart in the world. I just got here and there is sound. Yay! Yes, all I did was turn the computer off and restart it, which is what you're supposed to do in any situation where the computer says, no, I don't want to work properly. So, or the telly, or anything else. It's like turn it off, wait a bit, turn it back on, you'll be okay. So that's all I did. I turned it off and turned it back on, and it worked. So thanks, Geoduck, for coming back. Well, I have to go outside and pick up a few things. It's dark out. Yes, it's dark out here. So, with that said, it must be at least nearly 10 o'clock where you are. 3, so 5 hours behind. Welcome to the room, Geo. Was scrapbook, whatever, about his toy car. Oh, the Spanish toy factory. Brrr, be right back. Bring a torch. Could be. I've never been there. Tigger, more weeds. Hey, Jeff. Oh, weeds. Is that a dress? Dresses. Weeds are dresses. You wouldn't believe that, but they are. Weeds are dresses. That works with a woman also. Turn her off, turn her back on. He left the bullet with Peggy and never saw it again. No, and that's why I say it could have been the car that I gave him a video of, which is what I said on the video. Still light here, but the sun is down. Yes, and has not got his hat on. Zozo, I can't see you. I can't even read him. No, not weeds. Full reset. Uh-oh, already? It's the reset. In reality, there's no 5 hours of change anywhere. The internet proves past current times. Yeah, so I was talking about that because when the chest was found, if I found it right now, it'd be 3 a.m. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. What time is love? 3 a.m. Witching hour. So if I was to say that I found it, I'd tell everybody that I found it at 3 a.m. But you would turn around and say, no, you didn't. You found it at 10 p.m. No, I didn't. I found it at 3 a.m. No, you didn't. You found it at 10 p.m. So who is correct? We're both correct. But I'm more correct because I found it. So therefore, it should be at the time that I found it and not the time that you heard that I found it, if that makes sense. So it would have been found earlier than you thought because it was a different time and a different place. His father's parking space, his dad drove a Model A. The sign hammered into the ground. 8 p.m. in Montana, still daylight. No, no. So you is in Montana, which is middle-ish with Wyoming and New Mexico and Colorado, of course. 8 p.m. makes you 7 hours. Oh, of course you are, because Wyoming's 7 hours behind. I know. I ended up in Casper, 7 hours ahead. No, 7 hours behind of my wife being ahead here. The sun is going down, the moon is coming up. Well, sometimes the moon and the sun, they're up together. It's only what time you make it. Going the distance. Because I am not chatting. Oh, he's not chatting. So, okay, just checking on you. By the way, mods can see all. I don't know what that's supposed to imply. I could see all if I knew how to see all. I could see all these 35 people. I probably click a button and I can see all those lurkers. And the 5 people that have liked me. Thank you very much for those likes. You're very nice people. If the sun can cross a nation, then the split between is not dark. But the sun doesn't cross. We turn. We deserve another turn, another day. Someone needs to check in on me. It would make perfect sense that Forrest would have made the ending bullet proof. No bullet. An ending without bullet? Are you sure? Bulletproof. and that means facts that cannot be disputed. All in my opinion, of course. 6 people laugh out loud. Oh, low, 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 low. Hello, 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 hello. What's going on here then? I have a old pair of X-ray glasses from back in the old comic books. I always wondered about those glasses. Now, being the way that I think, they don't work. They obviously don't work, so I never bothered, going for them. But what do they do, Richard? I know they're not X-ray glasses. To me, that would be an impossibility. But they may do something. At. A cow covers a chest. Ask any woman. I think a cow would cover me as well. Bulletproof like Superman, Man of Steel. Rust in peace. Death of Superman at the chest in the parking lot with Peggy at the bullet. If you are Dave and in the Woodard, I forgive you. Titles of the gold. Again, for those that don't hear, the chest is wet. I know the chest is wet, said Forrest. I know any day, any time. I know the chest is wet. At any time, I know the chest is wet. There is only one way in, as far as I know. It's in a place people would not normally go. Well, 3 of those count Dave out. There are many more, but I'll just stick with that. They blur everything. Bit like the chase. It's a shame what happened to my Pop's comic books. Mush, pure mush. Well, that sounds like one of those huskies. Mush. If we turned, then why does the sun follow only landmarkers for you to see going away? Water is a mirror that goes all the way the full distance. I don't really want to get into that, but there are lots of things that I don't believe in regard to what we've been told. I don't believe that the moon affects our gravity. I believe the fact that our revolutions make the water move. The fact that the earth is spinning leaves the water behind. So therefore the tide is ebbing, going out. And then as it turns the other way, it comes back and the tide is not ebbing, wherever the other one is. So the fact that they say that the moon has enough gravity to pull the tide, to pull the water, that amount of water, which is, unbelievably an unbelievable mass that is so heavy, and yet the gravity of the moon does not extend far enough to keep a man on it. No, no. Now, the gravity of the earth might affect the moon, but I can't see the gravity of the moon affecting the earth. It's just no way. Not if it's thousands and thousands of miles away. If it's thousands and thousands of miles away, no, of course it doesn't. It can't do. If it can't keep a man fixed firmly on it, there's not enough gravity to keep a man fixed firmly on it, which means it doesn't extend past the flipping whatever atmosphere, whatever you call whatever there is around the moon, if there is one. How can it affect the waters of the earth so far away? That's crazy. And then you have all the other stuff, the winter, the summer, the day, the change of the hour, blah, blah, blah. Putting it all together, it doesn't make sense to me. And it may be true. but it doesn't make sense. And, the shadow of the moon is only 70 miles wide. If you see the shadow of the moon on the Earth, it's 70 miles wide. What? That's 700 miles, not 70 miles. Is it 700 miles wide? That's not big. Not big at all. So, and when you look at the moon, surely, it's so far away. Surely, when you look at the moon with your telescope or with your binoculars or with your phone with an extended thing, surely you should see all the debris, all the junk, all the space junk going across, the satellites and everything. You should see them all going across in front of the moon. And they don't. They don't go across in front of the moon. All them satellites, thousands and thousands and thousands of bits of debris up in the sky that you don't see when you look at the moon. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's obviously within our atmosphere or our biosphere or whatever they call it. And yet you don't see all of the satellites. Any satellites. You don't see nothing go across. Oh, look, there's a satellite there. Oh, look, there's another one. And there's thousands. So whilst I like to believe what they're saying, what I actually see doesn't back it up. Which is a bit like the chase. Water is light because it is just a mass of particles. No, it's not light. You try carrying water. It ain't light. A kettle itself isn't light. You tried pushing water. The only way to wash laundry is to agitate the tides of the earth, cannot go in a single direction. Tidy cat. Gravity of the moon and sun heat the earth core with friction. Yeah, but it can't keep a man on it. It's like it hasn't got enough gravity to keep a man firmly placed on the moon, and yet the gravity can travel across space thousands of miles and affect us. Nah, not having it. All the McDonald's wrappers on the moon. The moon is the sun's reflection. In early days, the moon is not in the solar system displays. No, which means it could have been put there like by Darth Vader as a Death Star. And, why they did it, I don't know, but they exploded a missile on it and it rings like a bell. Ding! Maybe there's somebody living inside it. Maybe the light we see is the inside light that they use, not outside reflection. Better than smelling dead people. Uh-oh. David, grab their wallet. I see dead people. I didn't see that bit. Oh, she kind of taken them more, Captain. Warp. Yes, better than smelling dead people. Absolutely right. Now that I've seen that, I see dead people. So the moon is not made of cheese. Liars, liars, liars. Well, no, because it rings. You can ring my cheese, my cheese. Maybe the moon's a bell. Maybe that's the bell you must ring. Richard Rutherford, pulling my strings again. Yes, he's cheese strings. Not G strings, cheese strings. Women know the moon makes them bleed. What? I am just a goat herder most of the time. Well, you should be able to listen good then, if you're a herder. How much have you heard? Bah, bah. Multicolored sheep, have you any wool? Ah, the sounds of music. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. How can you believe anything you know now that history is new history of lies? Yeah, I find it hard to believe anything, to be fair. So when I was at school, and I had the information coming into my brain, I believed everything, every single thing. I never had a doubt. I just took it in, and that's how magicians do their tricks, because we have the ability to have a lazy brain, and we only see certain things, and we can't be bothered with the rest of it. Then I started to wake up, a bit like these woke people. It's just, how is it? Doesn't make sense. These people that talk about racism, etc., sexism, ageism, whatever, they're going out of their way to set us back 50 odd years, 60 years, by being sexist, racist, and any other is that you could think of. The fact that you want to give a transgender a job over somebody else has obviously some ist with it. The fact that you want to give a woman a job over somebody else has some ist with it. The fact that you want to give a black person a job above somebody else has an ist with it. So what the heck are you doing? And why is nobody saying, hang on a minute, we just spent 50 odd years or more trying to cut all that crap out, and now you're bringing it back? It's not white people that you're trying to give jobs. You're trying to give jobs to black people. What? To make it fair? What do you mean to make it fair? We've just tried to make it fair by making everybody equal. Now you're trying to say these people are special because they're transgendered, and these people are special because they're women, and these people are special because they're coloured. What? Shut the fuck up. You get a job because you're able to do the job. That's it. Nobody cares whether they're male, female, transgendered, or whatever. Just merit. People get what they get on merit. And everybody likes everybody, and that's it. Stop being stupid and saying these stupid things. I have to give so many women a job. I have to give so many black people a job. I have to give so many transgender people a job because it's not fair. Shut up. If they can do the job, it doesn't matter whether black, yellow, brown, white, male, female, transgendered, whatever. It don't matter. Shut up trying to change the world and go back to where we were years and years ago. You're talking rubbish. Oh, we think the abortion should be right up until the baby's born. What? What? Shut up. You want to kill a human being because you feel that it's up to the female. It's her body, her choice, blah, 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 whatever it is. Yeah, I agree. It's up to them. And if it's rape and incest and whatever else, yeah, I agree with that too. But shut up. If the child is born, there is no need to kill it. You have it adopted. You have it adopted and looked after. And that woman doesn't see it. Ever. Ever. Under no circumstances. Because if that child was dead, she wouldn't be able to see it. So under no circumstances, if she changes her mind and goes, oh, well, no. She wanted to kill it. Idiots. Crazy people. Crazy, crazy people. I don't get how people are standing by and saying it's okay for them to set us back by being ist with all these different things that they come up with. That's crazy. Now, I'm not talking politics. I'm just talking common sense. I don't care whether it's liberal or conservative, whatever. Those things are crazy. Absolutely crazy. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. What the heck are you talking about? There aren't many lads at any time, whether it's now or 100 years ago, that knew 100% boy girl. It's crazy. You had to be 16 to, well, even early, if you were 14 upwards, to even know the exact 100% difference between male and female and how you went about, with your sexuality. Just crazy stuff. Anyway, thanks for that. Start bearing each other, start working together. Stealing and greed gets you nowhere. Be honest, be kind. Cool. Who said that? Uh-oh. Where's that gone? It was Codex. What if those poop in the clouds, would you still dance in the rain? Ah, dear. You got the magic dragon. Oh, I thought it was Puff, the magic dragon. Oh, lives by the Indian Ocean. The dragon protecting the castle. Read dragon backwards. No god. Dungeons and no god. Say a guy in a country that has mass Muslim migration. And you don't. Content of character. Employ the BRST person for the job. The best person for the job, yes. Sandy. Hello, Sandy. And, oh, nothing to say there then. Oh, is that Fendi? Fendi, is that you? Are you hiding under a different name? The best ditch digger is the one that whistles a tune. Because they help you breathe more easily. Tunes help you breathe more easily. The Board of Trustees should be a rep from all nations with no presidents. Earth to the people again. Dragon. Ah, the bracelet. Board of Directors. More equal. Ditch witches are sexier. If you enjoy what you do, you will never work a day in your life. 100%. UK in Civil War. Well, you weren't too far from it, were you? If that bullet had entered his head, you'd have all been killing each other now. Just crazy world. But it's the acts of the minority that inflame the majority. You see how that works? Now, you have to be stupid. No, not stupid. Passionate. You have to be passionate to want to go out and cause a riot because a minority spread lies, which is just the same in your country as it is ours. You have a minority spreading rubbish and hoping that it affects people that much that they lose their own sanity. It's crazy. Do the one? Oh, done that. There you be. You probably get more from. I can't see because the heart is there. From the deaf. You probably get more from deaf. All nations will experience freedom soon, many for the first time. That sounds good. That sounds brilliant. I'll go along with that. I'll go along with that. The thing is, you're still going to, in the world, there is always those people that think they're hard done by and they have no just cause, just that their mindset is that of, it's not fair, I am owed more because I am who I am. And that's why the transgender bloke that goes on the Camilla Harris thing, he comes in wearing a dress, long hair and a beard, and says it's because he feels like he's a woman, not a man. He's got a fucking beard. Why are you wearing a beard? If you feel like a woman, why have you grown a beard to look like a man? Why have you grown a beard to look like a man? Because you are a homosexual who wants a way out of calling yourself homosexual. I've got nothing against homosexuals and I've got nothing against transgendered people. But those people who feel like they're a woman in a man's body do not wear a beard. They don't wear a beard. You don't. You want to look like a woman. You want to feel like a woman. You don't want to wear a dress and look like a man. That's not somebody who has an issue with their identity, their binary, whatever it is. And it's like, give me a break. Don't, if you want to be stupid, but don't think that I'm stupid or that other people are stupid. You're not binary or whatever they call it, non-binary, whatever they call it. You're not. You're a man who wants to dress up as a woman. That's it. Because if you weren't a man and didn't feel like a man, that beard would never, ever, ever be grown on your face. Ever. Ever. If you felt like you were a woman inside. And it's just crazy that these people spread all this bull about what this is about, and that's not what it's about at all. It is about their freedom. I understand that. It's about them being able to do what they want to do. I understand that, but don't try and hide behind something else. Just say it for what it is. I'm a man. I want to dress up in women's clothes, and I like other men, or whatever it is that is. Don't say that you are binary, non-binary, wherever it is, and you feel like a woman, and it's so difficult for you. Shut up. American patriots are on their way. Woohoo! I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm not even American, but just the world's stupid. True freedom. Last chapter of Once Upon a While was the price of freedom. Looking like a man. What's so American when three nations are all Americans against each other? And that is, well, I think everybody's British. I know Bill probably disagrees, but you're all English, really. The whole world is English. If you look at what the British done, there's probably a video out there somewhere that will tell you everything that the British have done, and this world wouldn't exist without them. All the inventions. Look it up. You're all essentially, not all of you, the majority of you are essentially British. It's like, what? Even Australia, essentially British. You go back far enough. So we're all of the same. We're all the same race. We're all human beings. But, we're all from the same pool, as it were. The majority of us are. So that in itself should say we should get along. And we don't. But we can't even get along in our own country. Each country separately can't just live in harmony. That's crazy. Maybe because each country has brought different ethnicities in them. Cues up, dude, look like a lady. Yes, guys with cute butts. Can't touch this. I do not think searches will ever start again. They are too invested in what they believe is correct. Forrest wants the result, and most cannot see it. Yeah, I think they'll start again when JCB comes into play and people understand more about what's going on. The world is alive, no race. I'm kin Irish. Well, that's British, isn't it? Well, one part of it is. The other part of it is Irish. Depends which part of Ireland do you come from? Alien nation. America's is just all language. The whole world is in a fifth generation war. Have faith in the American patriots. We will not fail. I never doubted it. Smile a mile. M7Y family came here over 400 years ago. 100% American. No. If you go back far enough, no one's 100% anything. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why we should all get along. If you go back far enough, America didn't exist. There was nobody British in America. 1700s. Early 1700s. No, probably before that. Thinking of the Declaration, 1776. 1300s. Christopher Columbus. So before that, 1492, in the 1300s, there were no Caucasian people in America, unless they were the Vikings, Eric the Red or whatever was supposed to be going over there, over the land bridge, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, the Europeans went over there. So pretty much European. Pretty much European. And if not European, British. So if you go back far enough, you're European. The majority are European. But then you have all the people coming in now that are from, Venezuela and Ecuador and places like that. But before then, European. America had mainly Europeans in there. Apart from the actual real Americans, the Native Americans, none of you are Native Americans. You can say you're Native Americans, but you're not native. You were born there, but you're not native. What about the bug in the rug? When did Germany free themselves from Russia? Was the brown the one to be titled long hail? I don't understand half of that. Londonderry. Oh, you come from Londonderry? Oh, it's a big place. My family came with Captain Smith in 1607 to Roanoke, VA. Their wives were already here. Apart from Pocahontas, she wasn't already there. China was sailing along the west coast way back when. Well, and and I believe that the Egyptians supposedly had built pyramids all over the world, so they were traveling too. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, Kiwi. But I'm saying in the information that we have and the proof that we have, Europeans. And you don't look Chinese. Not many people look Chinese. Vikings were here 1,000 years ago. Well, 992. I put a video out ages ago. Moo, the KLF, talking about them, the ancients of Moo. In 992. In America. It's like stuff you don't hear. I've talked about the Easter Island flipping heads and stuff like that. It's stuff you don't hear about our real history. It's crazy. Why people aren't, interested or, want to be told about it. The last state of name is what? Last state of name is what? Don't know what. I can't think. It's late. It's 3:30. Oh, 3:30 in the morning. My Indian part is in my pants. European. He's a peon. Oh, he's a peon. You're a peon. She's a peon. Wouldn't you like to be a peon too? I'm a peon. He's a European. Mario, the War of Hail was to free from Russia, then America stepped in. Ford is German. Yeah, but I don't, to me, that doesn't seem like English. I don't understand it. Mario, the War of Hail was to free from Russia. So I don't get to free from Russia. Then America stepped in. Ford is German and attend all wars. I can't work out the English in here. I don't understand it. Indian is not Indiana. Indiana wants me, but I can't go back there. My first marriage, I was in Diana. Oh, or Athena, or Cynthia. Isn't Cynthia another name for Diana? Or isn't she the god, of something or other? English is not free to speak. The YouTube being blocked. I can't see what says behind the heart. English is not free to speak. The YouTube being blocked. I don't know. Your English is different to mine. I can't work it out. I don't know. English is not free to speak. And then there's a word behind the heart, but I can't see. The YouTube being blocked. You're speaking like Yoda. It's like, oh. Half of any is better than none. Half of any is better than none. I can understand that. But that's almost, any part of some is better than no part of any. My first marriage was in Diana. Is that a place, Diana? Or are you talking about, your first marriage was in Diana? So I think we should wrap it up. It's been 2 and 3/4 hours, 37 people, 36. Somebody just run away. 8 likes. Blimey, what's going on? That's pretty cool. I'm quite impressed. Thank you very much, everybody. So, this is basically life is no different. Our real life is no different than the chase that we have. We have lots of people putting out information that makes people believe certain things that aren't true. And yet, when you get behind the real information, you find out, what's really going on. So we have this fake news and we have real news. Now, the problem with the chase is if you just solely concentrate on the fake news that Donald Trump is a dictator, that he's against abortion, he's against transgenders, he's against blacks, he's a racist, he's this, he's that, and the other. It's bull. He's not. And it's quite easy to get the wrong information and make the wrong decision. So you vote for these other people because you think that what you're hearing is correct. Well, in the chase, you're told it's not. What you're hearing is not correct. That's what you're told. Words don't mean what you think they do, and nothing is as it seems. So you're being told now, if you were going to vote on Forrest Fenn as being a good bloke, you're being told that this bull, imagine it's Trump, this bull that you've been told is not true. That will change your opinion of the person that's being talked about. It's not real. It's been proven to not be real because people say that Donald Trump is a dictator. He's already run the country for 4 years. He's already run the country for 4 years. How, in any way, shape, or form, can he be a dictator? He was elected, and he's being elected now. How is that being a dictator, and how is that a threat to democracy when he's already done it for 4 years and it hasn't screwed over your democracy? That's crazy. So if you believe that, you're likely to not want to vote for Trump or believe that he's a good person. You might not like him, the things that he says and does, but he's still a good person to do the job of running the USA compared to somebody who's got dementia and somebody who says that you have a strong alliance with North Korea, the Republic of North Korea. It's like, woman, do you know anything? It isn't North Korea at all. It's South Korea. And I didn't know that North Korea was a republic. And you're telling this to the whole country? Is it a slip whereby you are really having a strong alliance with North Korea that we don't know about? Or you just have no idea what's going on in the world? At least Joe Biden has an excuse. He has dementia. You have no excuse. You've been in the job for 4 years nearly, and you're talking stuff like that. What has been unburdened? No. So unburdened by what has been. What? Shut up. So the chase, nothing's what it seems. So don't worry. Don't think that you can only make the decision on the information that you're seeing, hearing, reading. There is other information that you need to look at. And the same with, life. The stuff that the main news people are putting out is just rubbish. It really is. It really is just rubbish. And, if you take on board that whilst Forrest has to put this rubbish out that you think is rubbish, I don't think it's rubbish. I think it's information from the poem. Whilst that information is there, don't get upset by it and don't believe it. Try and find out, what it really is. And I've told you, the answer for the chest is in the Thriller Chase book, in that poem. Read that poem with a little imagination. Job done. Solved. Done. Finished. There's nothing, you don't have to do too much. Ooh, Trump 2024, Vance 2028, and 2032. Well, not according to The Simpsons. They reckon Melania, whatever name is going to do. If Trump doesn't make it, if they do assassinate him, I fully believe that she will want to carry on what he did. And, I could see her being the first American female president. Mercury is in retrograde. Oh, happy days. Yes, it is. Mercury is the messenger on his backward bike, going backwards. So he's coming back. Guess who's back? Back again. We have, if tough, you think, imagine a 30-year president. So you do it all the time. It's like, what does that mean? We have, if tough, you think, imagine a 30-year president. Sorry, Yoda, I don't understand. Too many cocktail parties. Have you seen Judge Joe Brown's comments on Harris? No. But was he at his home? And can we go there and get the treasure? Biden has been in office longer than I have been alive, and I am old. Yeah, but he hasn't come out of that office. That's the problem. It's like nearly 4 years ago when when I first saw him. I was like, no, this bloke shouldn't even be in an old people's home. He's not even that savvy. And for 3 years or more, they've been saying, yeah, he's good. And he can't stand up, keeps falling over, fell off his bike, fell upstairs, fell off stage. It's like, what? Look after this man. What are you doing? It's like crazy. Yeah, he's still got his faculties. He's still this, that, and the other. What? And I see things like, comments off the View program. I'm thinking, I used to like that Whoopi Goldberg, but some of the things she says, I'm thinking, wow, you're definitely a mean person. Way mean. Way mean. But no, I don't see how, even his wife, if you have any decency in you, you would have stopped him years ago and you'd have looked after him and put him somewhere where, he would just lose it. He didn't know where he was, couldn't even clap half the time. It's like, why would you do that to somebody? Why would you put them out and make them look that stupid? Unless you want to be coronated as president of the United States. Who's a threat to democracy, Trump or you? Because you've just said, oh, we won't have a vote. We won't have nobody vote for her. We'll just say she's the next president, the president-elect, or whatever you call it. What? What up to the vote? She hasn't received one vote. Not when she first tried to go for president. And now. Nobody wanted to vote for her. And she has the ability now. Just there you go. Just been handed it through the democratic process. What? No. There you go. Run for president. That, if nothing else in the world shocks me, that shocks me. Especially in America. And nobody's up in arms. Nobody says, hang on a minute. Whoa. She needs to be voted in. Somebody needs to be voted in. Don't just say that she's been crowned queen. She ain't. It's like, yeah, it's okay. Let her run. What? No. That's the beginning of the end if you're doing things like that. Simple. One person ruling the world of life within its border. And, that could end up, in 1,000 years as somebody being called God. 30-year president. Yeah, it could be. No sense worrying about an 80-year-old being dictator. Life is short after 80. Well, Forrest is 94. How have you been, Tigger? Sophia. Dave Paisano. Are you... Oh, gone. There you were, gone. Are you in an Authors Writers Guild? Is there such a thing like actors? Yes, I think he's part of the... The Democrats do not want a leader. They want a robot that they can control. Yes, but that's not democratic, is it? It's like, don't say that Trump is a threat to your democracy when what you're doing is not democratic. It's like crazy. Trump has thousands of people. Yeah. What's her name? Megan something or whatever her name is. I can't remember what her name is, but yeah. I like the person that Michaela somebody that spoke up for Trump. She was a strong woman, as was that biracial lady who has millions of followers, and I can't remember her name. But she's like, yes, they lied to me. I voted, liberal, and now I found out the truth, and I love Trump now. Nope, but maybe Preston might get me in. Oh, I don't know what that was about. Thanks, Sophia. Forrest wrote his memoir at the age of 80. At the age of 80, God told Moses to write a book of his memories. Excuse me. He wrote the Old Testament. But it was old because he was 80. He was already old. How can you write a book called the Old Testament? Russia has a never-ending leader. Yes, but there wouldn't have been. Russia would never invaded Ukraine, and Israel would never have been going through what they're going through now if Trump was president. And that's not me being wishful thinking. That's fact. You know that if Trump was in power and president of the United States, that would never have happened. Russia would not join up with China and bloody Korea. It just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. And now, chance of World War III. I bet Hunter and Pamela Harris know where all the good parties are. So it is not a place you had to join, Sophia. Demon rats. Sophia Champion, that is cool. Did you get it on the big screen? Hitler was very popular also. Yes. Yes, I take that on board too, but it's not, if you talk about Donald Trump, it's not about him just being popular. He did it for 4 years, and I don't see that there is any downside to what he did. I don't see it. I just don't see it. That's not because I'm not looking. I don't care. I'm not an American. But, with no dog in the fight, I'm looking at it and going, well, yeah, peace in the Middle East, 1% inflation, which is, what you need. You need inflation, just a little bit. So you don't want zero inflation. So 1% inflation, perfect. Gas wasn't too expensive. Groceries weren't too expensive. A strong country able to be dominant in around the globe. People respected Donald Trump. He's a businessman. America's just really one big business, to be fair. Trying to keep everybody happy, employ everybody, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I didn't see what was wrong. And then now, don't, don't. The black men do not Kamala ahead Harris. Even that, in 2016, she was an Indian American. In 2016, that's fact. There's evidence to prove it. 2016, she was Indian American. Now she's running for president. She's a black American. What? Hey, what? Now, there's nothing wrong with being an Indian black American. If you're biracial, then you're both. But you should have said that in 2016. Not just turned up and said it now. What? Where'd that come from? I don't know. Why do these things keep coming up on my blooming PC? So it's like, no, you're just full of rubbish. I can't believe anything you say. You are American, Mary. If the flag is owned the same. I heard on Infowars that Afghanistan has trained since then. Even that, how they did the withdrawal out of Afghanistan was like, are you crazy? Is there not a brain cell in your head? That's not how you withdraw. Leave all your stuff there. How many millions of dollars of stuff? And No, I don't know. Have those people killed, and that's just crazy. A slave is always a slave, regardless of land. Trump campaign promised to release 9/11 Commission documents. I voted for him and he failed at his promise. Oh, well, get in touch with him and have a word because I'm sure he will listen. You better be worried, Mary. I've always been worried. There are many Muslims in your country too. Yes, I know. I absolutely know. And that's why I say, with if Trump was in power, all of this that's going on wouldn't have been going on. And it's that simple. It really is that simple. It would not have been going on. And it doesn't matter whether you hate the person, his ability to manage is what you're voting for. It doesn't matter whether you hate him. It doesn't matter if he says the wrong things. It doesn't matter if he hurts people's feelings to some point, because that's who he is. He needs to be addressed about it, but that's not what you're voting for. And your rights don't stop where somebody else's feelings start. You can't please everybody. That's fact. You're never going to please everybody. The best that you can do is do the best for the majority. That's the best that you can do. Do the best for the majority. Now, he wants to make America great again, and there is no reason to believe that he doesn't. None. And yet these other people, and like I say, it's not politics. I don't know what their policies are. I don't care to some extent, in the fact that they've had 3 years and this is the result. Obviously, don't believe in themselves because she doesn't do an interview. Even with the friendly press, the people that, spread the bullshit. Not even with them. She doesn't even do interviews with them. That in itself says she doesn't know how to give an interview properly. And from the evidence that we've seen, you can see that she doesn't. Now she's saying no tax for the service sector. Oh, hang on, who said that? Oh, it's Trump. And she's saying it now. It's like, are you kidding me? What, have you just nicked it off him? Never happened before, but now she makes it in her speech. No tax for the service sector. On tips. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, Iran is trying to take Trump out as well as. Yeah, I think everyone's trying to take Trump out, and I don't think that is the only assassination attempt that will take place, because that could have been avoided. So I'm thinking, it goes higher than just one bloke, off the cuff decides, well, I'm going to take Trump out. And then, with his sheer cunning, he manages to avoid police for 90 minutes, sets up on a roof with people saying, there's a man on the roof with a gun. There's a man on the roof with a gun. Come over here. Run. There's a man on the roof with a gun. 90 minutes. They knew of this bloke with a rangefinder, a golf rangefinder, because he's going to play golf while he's there. Of course he is. I know that was meant to happen. So, I believe that nobody's coming forward with any answers nearly 3 weeks after it happened. And yet, any other time, Secret Service, FBI, I don't trust that bloke in the FBI for a start. But Secret Service, FBI, no, got no answers. Nobody's been fired. It's like, this is the worst possible thing that could happen for the Secret Service, the FBI, everybody else that's involved. The worst possible thing. The future president was shot at. Sorry, the president-elect, whatever it is, whatever you call it, was shot at and hit. A man died, 2 people seriously injured. Worst possible that could happen. And they haven't fired anybody. It's like, what do you need to have to say that these people who organised all of this can't do their job properly? And even if you don't fire them, you give them garden leave, don't you? You say, right, while you're under investigation, don't work for us. but they're still working for them. It's like you're not able to do the job. Worst possible scenario, the people that were supposed to do the communication, the people that were supposed to set up the snipers, the people that set up the perimeter, all of these different people, if there are them, they should be suspended at least. It's like they're still working. They're helping with the investigation. What, the investigation that they were useless at, or involved in? Shut up. I still won't quit. Thank goodness I work for God, and what a fucked up concept. Mr. Barnum could not do what is needed. No, he couldn't. That happened 20 miles. Wow. 20 miles away. Oof. Howdy, Golden Key. How are you? Well, it is what it is, Geoduck. Yes, rest in peace, Corey. And, I don't know what happened to the other two. Still concerned about them. It was critical. I've heard nothing else going forward from that. So I'm hoping that, they're pulling through. Yeah, they were called the Untouchables. Yes, when they went after what's the name? I just don't get it. It's like, come on, you failed, and you failed miserably, and you set a bad example to the whole world about what they think of, the United States of America. The least you can do is suspend the people that failed miserably. Not say, well, they're still working. What? They're helping us with the investigation. What? They're the people that failed. And you don't even know if they did it on purpose. And they could contaminate evidence and falsify documents and do all sorts of things if you're allowing them to work in the office that they're working. And you could set up stories and all sorts of things. No, you're supposed to suspend them. So I believe, and I really don't trust that bloke from the FBI. I don't trust the road bloke, but I don't that one from the FBI. Nope. He's full of cack. Full of cack. It might burn my ass when it hurts, but that changes nothing about the mission. Yes. Forward. That's what we say. They are home now. Oh, thanks for that. Good. I'm glad. I'm doing good, man. How have you been? Yeah, not too bad, to be fair. I'm at that point now where hopefully the headstone has been done. I haven't had confirmation yet, but, from how long they said it would take. So that'll be done. That will go in the ground, and then I'll have to go to Benidorm and flitter the ashes in the Mediterranean for her. When were they looking last held? Oh, I don't know. I don't bother with those sort of things. But I don't think it'll be anytime soon if things are going the way they're going. I don't think anything will be held in England the way things are going. Should have been on the water tower. Now, I don't get how you can put two people on the same roof as counter snipers, one hidden behind a tree. It's like, what? What? Not many feet apart. One of them had a view, and one of them had one or the two, however the counter snipers set up, had the view of a tree. What? And Hawley, if that's his name, Senator Hawley, asked about the protocols, and they say, well, we set up to see shooting out, like looking out as to who's shooting in. And it's like, he was basically saying, well, it didn't work, did it? So you need to, assess it. And he's like, no, we set up looking out to see who's shooting in. It's like, well, it didn't work, did it? Trump was shot. So your protocol, the way that you set up, doesn't work. Now, there is no reason. No, I'm not an expert, but there's no reason that I can think of that you don't put somebody on that roof. Shooting in. If you think that somebody's going to be out shooting in, why don't you think of the best place that there is for somebody to shoot in and be there to stop anybody being in that place to shoot in? That would be the best way to do it. Or even the furthest point out, looking in, because that's where the sniper's going to be. But it's like, well, he managed to be in a place, the best place, the easiest place, the one place that somebody was going to be. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And that he was there, walking around for 90 minutes and they couldn't find him. It's like, get lost. There was people sat in that office, the window behind him. So those people had to be gone for, 20 minutes probably. What was it? Well, they were looking for him. What? Oh, shut up. Looking for him. Just pop your head out the window. There he is. There's people with phones saying, look, there's a bloke with a gun on the roof. There he is. And you could see him quite clearly. Then you get pictures of these police walking around looking. Where is he? Don't get it. Absolutely don't get it. If they were shouting for a policeman. If somebody's shouting for a policeman and telling that policeman that there's somebody on the roof with a gun, and then he had to text. He got up, looked, bloke turned around, pointed the gun at him. He's like, oh, look, there's a bloke up there with a gun. Let me just text to the Secret Service that there's a bloke with a gun on the roof and see what they do. I've got plenty of time. There's a bloke with a gun there. You couldn't just ring them. You didn't have a radio. The communication was that bad that you couldn't actually ring the command center and say, there's a man on the roof with a gun. He is at the far left-hand side, whatever it is. Take him out. There's a man on the roof with a gun. Get Trump off stage now. You couldn't do that. It begs belief. It really does. People say, well, it was badly done. They didn't do the job properly. It's like they didn't do the job at all. Not at all. I don't need your help. Why do you think you do? How do you have my back? Uh-oh. Who's he saying that to? Let's just say we got... Geo. It was too hot for them. Yeah, I heard that's what they said, but inside the window looked on the roof. You're looking for this bloke. Do you go from your high vantage point to look for him? Or do you, from your high vantage point, just pop your head out of the window and go, oh, there he is on the roof? Because that's what was being said. There's a man on the roof. So it wasn't, I don't believe it was that they were too hot and they went wherever they went. There were counter snipers inside. The sniper rifles were there. The counter sniper rifles, the police rifles. They were inside, looking out at the roof and looking at Donald Trump. And it could have even been them that shot him. It could have even been them. They had a perfect view to shoot across to Trump and a perfect view to see this man. And I don't even understand why he had to get on the roof to do it. It's like, just go in those offices unless you were told not to. I don't know. To me, it was set up. To me, it was meant, he just managed to get 8 shots off before they shot him. 8. Come on. And you can hear them. So it's, it's a good 2 to 4 seconds worth. The first 3 that he took and then the next. And then obviously the person took him out. And even that, is debatable because the sniper rifles that they use, it took his head off. It just blown it apart. Worse than Kennedy. Would have been everywhere. There would be splatter everywhere. And yet when you saw the video of on the roof, little trickle of blood. No blood splatter, no nothing. Which is a small gunshot. Probably a policeman. It's a small gunshot wound. Not a counter sniper's rifle. The 300 blah 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 blah, whatever it's supposed to be. It's like, I can't believe half the stuff they're saying because it doesn't make sense. If it made sense, fine, but went in because it was too hot. What? You're supposed to be guarding the president, you went in because it was too hot. And you had 90 minutes to find this person and you've come off the roof. I know. I'll just go back to the roof, see if he's gone on the roof, or I'll just come off. No, I just can't believe it. Anyway, I better go because we've changed it from Forrest Fenn to the world is naffed. Crooks had been to the shooting range many times in the weeks leading up to it, and even the day before. Yeah, and he flew a drone and they denied that. Even that smacks of this is CIA, this is Secret Service, all set up. We have a drone. Do you want us to use it? To get a good view of the area? No, it's okay. What? What? You have a drone that would take, I don't know, how many percentage of responsibility off people? A high percentage of the responsibility of the police having to monitor outside if this drone was up there. That's okay. We don't need it. No, you don't need it. Of course you need it. Idiots. So I just don't believe that it was idiots. I believe that they were intentionally going to let this happen. And, it was, I know this person saw it shooting past his ear, but it was not something that you couldn't think of yourself, that he would be at risk, especially with Iran. It's like if anybody was at risk of this happening, it was Donald Trump. It wasn't Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or the First Lady or whoever they had security guards for. It was Donald Trump. The risk assessment was beyond poor. You are going through what God has chosen. I can't change that. Jackie? Oh, Jan. Someone said that the snipers behind Trump did not shoot him. No, I don't believe that they did. I don't believe that they did. I saw, I'm not an expert, but I know what's supposed to happen and what ain't supposed to happen. If they shot him with their rifle, there would have been hardly anything left of his head. Hardly anything left of his head. You would not see an entrance wound in over his eye. It'd all be gone. Like a watermelon. It'd be gone. So I'm of the opinion that somebody with a smaller firearm took him out. Was working for CIA. Please pay close attention. I am. Always have. Damn right I will. Already will be rebranded to Lifted Logical. Thanks for your encouragement. I cannot stop a stone rolling, but I can watch. Powers are limited in the world of the flesh. Coffee is a legal federally over the country counter drug, just as Budweiser makes the beer and removes the alcohol. Is a secret code is printing. I'm not into politics, bye for now. No, me. I'm going anyway. And this is not politics. This is the world we live in. There's people talking rubbish and lying about stuff that's happening. It doesn't matter whether he's a politician or not. It matters that the media aren't telling people the truth. And you'll indeed watch religion be dismantled. Federal School of Stupidity. It went in eye, out, neck. Like I say, that sounds a bit similar to Kennedy as well. But at the neck. I mean, obviously Kennedy was shot first because he was like looking down and as soon as he looked down, that's when the shot came out. So it's like it was set up. But yeah, I don't look at religion as a real thing other than brushing your teeth. The back of his head was completely removed. What, the bloke on the crooks? That's not what I saw. If it was, there'd be blood everywhere and spatter everywhere. Like that roof would have been. So 2, 3, 4 foot would have been blood all over the roof where the camera was on. And most of the stuff was blurred out so you couldn't see it. But it's a bit coincidental, isn't it? You could see that there wasn't blood splatter. But the fact that it was blurred out, it's crazy. Let's see your God. The church. Oh yeah, that shit is being torn down. Evil. But you believe a God exists. Strange. Bullets come out large. Entry small. If he was sloped over, then how did the bullet enter the front? Shooter was the brain. Like I say, I think it was a smaller firearm, and that would mean that somebody was on the roof or closer to him than the snipers, and it wasn't a. There's no way it was one of them big sniper shots. There's no way it would have ripped his head apart. It just wouldn't have been. I have faith in God. Yes, the church is evil, and Jimmy has nothing to do with God. It's people. Yeah, I agree with something like that. I stopped going to church when they started bringing microphones into the church, and they were trying to use the voice to try and make you feel, different, like whispering and stuff like that. It's like, just talk normal, man. What's up with you? Why are you trying to make me feel like God's in here when it's just you, like, whispering down the microphone? Well, that is a good and honest approach. Now, why do you think a God should remain? Why? You're speaking about Trump is coming back to Butler ASAP. In my heart, in my soul. No blood came out. It was all grey matter. Can't be much grey matter there. Faith in a non-existent God. I don't know. I'm not normally a politics person. I'm not a religious person, so I don't think any of this is going to. Why search for God if God is within me? Why church? That is more a control mechanism built out of history. Yes. Church is in the mountains and along the river bottoms. In your brain, in your head. Not your that organ does not retain. Sorry. Well, some people are saying this is an extension of the brain. And why? This is just me thinking, I don't know, I have no professional things, but why, when you lose people or you, like people die, pass away, or you break up with someone, is the pain in your heart? The pain should be in your head. That's the bit that thinks. Your heart is not affected emotionally. It's your brain that should be affected emotionally. And yet it's your heart that hurts. There's no reason for that unless there's something more going on in the heart than just a muscle pumping blood around your body. 100%. That's the only thing that can explain it. Your heart should not hurt. Your head should hurt. If you miss somebody, the thoughts about it, the feelings about it should come from here. If your heart is just a muscle, if it just pumps blood, but for it to feel the pain, there must be something more than just muscle. Has to be. Has to be. There's no other reason for it. Your heart should not hurt because you've ended a relationship, you've lost somebody dear to you, you've seen something bad happen. Shouldn't it? Your heart shouldn't feel it. That is exactly what I do. Then why did you say in your heart, in my heart, in my mildew has a big old bullet hole in it too, just like the car, and just like that man's head. Your heart does not hurt. Are you kidding? What? So, you've been through it. I've been through it. My heart hurts. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that my heart does not hurt. I know what I feel. No, I don't believe you said that. My heart does not hurt. Shut up. My third eye hurts sometimes too. No one in the car was covered with his blood. A firecracker could have been after to the agent Helen Clark over in motion and could have put the other two shots. So you talk about that, not the bloke on the roof. The reason why Oswald, if he did any shot at all, shot from the book depository at that point is because he was supposed to be at that point to be shot from another point. That was the kill zone. If Oswald was taking that shot, he was taking it as Kennedy was coming up the road. That's the only shot he should have took, as Kennedy was coming towards him for the turn into the plaza. That's the time that he should have shot him. He was right there. That was his kill zone. The fact that he didn't shoot him then, and as a sniper, the one thing you don't want to do is stick your head out of the window and let everybody see you. So he could have been a little bit further back in the window and then shot Kennedy as he was coming to a slow turn into the plaza, and he couldn't miss. One shot, game over. But the reason he didn't do that is because he weren't supposed to be shot until he got to the grassy knoll and the overpass, whatever it's called. So there was a line of sight to shoot JFK from the grassy knoll, from the overpass, from the book depository, and from the building on the other side in that crossfire. And that's why there was no shots until then, because he weren't supposed to be. If it was just Oswald, just that information alone, if it was just Oswald, bang. And nobody would know where it come from. Nobody would have known where the shot come from, and it would have only been one shot. And he'd be out the school depository and gone. So the fact that shots missed, apparently, and he was shooting past the tree, past the lamppost, out of the window at an angle, and President Kennedy went back into the left, and he shot him from behind. No, sorry, no. So thanks for that. I don't believe that Oswald did it. My faith is not exactly mainstream. Ouch! Alan Kay's in the house. Is he? He is. Your balls can hurt when they get kicked. Yes, especially for farmer. You get a couple of acres, but that's not their true purpose. And that terminology is wrong to use. What I said or what you said. Patsy, my faith is not exactly mainstream. Ouch. Good night, folks. Thanks for the banter. See you, David. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Oswald was the guy that prevented another man from being killed. Right, DP. Mossad killed Kennedy. Well, I don't know who killed him, but I know it wasn't Oswald. There's no way. That is not the shot anybody takes. No, never in a million years. The only reason there's a shot taken at that point in time is to get you in the kill zone, the ability to be shot from any angle at any point, and that's where he was. Couldn't miss. And the fact that he went back into the left, the shot came from, I would say, northeast of him. So northeast of Kennedy when he was shot. The shot came in and forced him that way, not that way. If he was shot from the back, he'd have gone forward. It'd have just gone forward. His head would have gone forward. And he went back. And like I say, he was already looking, so it looked like he'd already been shot. He was trying to open up his shirt as though, he felt some pain. And then it looked like it was set up. He was supposed to do that, so his head wasn't going to move. Knew what place it was going to be in and then just take the shot. And like I say, back to the left. And that didn't come from behind. There's no way. And then you have the magic bullet stuff. Anyway, I'm going now. This is all interesting stuff, but there are a lot of Texas businessmen involved. Nixon had to step down because the shooter was also on the Watergate. Yes, we still need to find out the 3 vagabonds that were there that didn't look like vagabonds at all. From childbirth. You mentioned Revelation earlier. Why? What point in time do you think we are at today? Because the second happened in the 1st century AD, and most people are... No. No. See, you can't say that those things happened. I know what people are saying. Well, if you say that it happened, what about all this other stuff that happened later that the book is talking about? It wouldn't factor in all of these things. It certainly wouldn't factor in the when Egypt gets their land back, etc., when the building's built again, whatever, all of those things, they can't have happened ages ago. They happened recently, 50 odd years ago, 60 years ago, however long it was that Egypt got their land back, or whatever, however that went. I don't know. I'm not religious, and I don't take all that in. But if it's part of Revelation that these things happen, then Jesus couldn't come back because they can't come back until all of these things take place. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying what I remember. I could be wrong, as usual. But I try to go by the facts and then bring them all together and see what happens. If you notice when he reached Jack, it was in his ear. If you notice when he reacted, Jacket was in his ear. Jacket was in his ear. Don't know distance. Trusted, we are in Revelation 15:17. At the end of the book, we are free. We LGBT. Yes, yes. Forrest talked about him, and I did a video about Sea Star. I didn't do a video about that, but I did a video about Connolly. The man says they're going to kill us all. What do you mean they're going to kill us all? You didn't know there was one shooter or 20 shooters. So for me, he's talking about the agency or the group of people that are going to do it. They're going to kill us all. Not, oh, they're shooting at the president. They're not shooting at him, or shouldn't be shooting at him. So to me, it smacks of he knew it was going to happen, and because he got hit, he thought they were after him as well. He thought he was going to be killed because he knew what was going on. You don't turn around and say they're going to kill us all. You turn around and say they're trying to kill the president. He didn't say that. So I think Connolly, naughty man. You knew what was going to happen, and you were like, oh no, they're killing all of us. I thought they were only going to kill him. LBJ was the patsy. No, it didn't take him long to join in though. I want to be president. They had it may have been the patsy, but they had the Bible ready, or whatever it was that you swear on. It's like, what? You brought that with you? What, did you know that you needed to swear him in? On the plane? Come on. Trust, a side-by-side pic of a cross-armed Jack. He can't come back until that word, the Pope or Antichrist has... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like people don't understand that it can't have been before because these events have to take place before he comes back. So he can't have come back already unless he came back and had a look. Oh, not time. And then, I'm early. The party doesn't start yet. And then come back. Don't forget who was running the FBI in 963. Ooh, that's a long time ago. Isn't that when settlers invaded America? I don't know, 1963. Yes, don't forget who was running them. The vacuum cleaner. LBJ was the head of the cabal. It was a coup. LBJ called his penis Jumbo. What? He looked like an elephant. Prime Minister is the leader of the pack. Never a church without the castle. Prime Minister is the saint as Christmas. The minister is no of Lord. I don't know. My wonky is wonky. You've got a wonky Bush Senior. The people of this planet has followed the book for 2,000 years. When it ends, it ends. There is no new book. We are free to live free. Jesus came back 63 AD. Well, he's close. It's 963. As written by Josephus. Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat. LBJ forced people to touch Jumbo. Oh, he sounds like Biden. I wonder if they're related. His middle name's probably Biden. Lyndon Biden Johnson. Did he go around sniffing hair and stuff? In the first 1,000 years are unknown, then he knows BC, British Columbia. Well, all I know is I managed eventually to think of the one thing that would get my computer working, and that was to turn it off and turn it back on again. I don't know. I don't know why the microphone didn't work. I'm sorry for those people that came and went and came and went and came and went. I tried my best to get it working. Joe C. Fuss. Before Christ. A translator told me, don't trust effing one of them. Are you talking about the chase, Woody? Were you talking about religion, or are you talking about the Secret Service, or that's how Biden got in? He pleased LBJ. Before Christ is an English false translation. Yeah, I think that's why we put the common era now, isn't it? AD does not mean after death. I thought it was Anno Domini. What does that mean in Latin? I thought Anno was something to do with year. It's Latin. It's Latin. Yeah, I know it's Latin. Anno Domini, but what I thought it was to do with year. Anno. Christo is the Greek word for Messiah. Anyway, how's it going? Thank you very much. I hope, just believe in Forrest. It doesn't matter about the solve, doesn't matter about the chest, doesn't matter about all the other stuff. Just, trust that Forrest is going to make it happen the way it's supposed to happen, and that it's all good. So why do you think that FF had so much stuff in his books with people that were involved with the Kennedy assassination? So why do I think that? Oh, I don't know if I can say that. I don't think I can say, or I don't want to say that. Why I think it is, because I have no proof. No need to quibble, see, he will do. Common era. Anno Domini, yeah, that's what I thought it said. Two birds in the hand is worth one in the bush. Ooh, Nixon knew about it too. Yeah, I try not to rush to a judgment on anything, but some things don't make sense. And when they don't make sense, then, I try and, I looked into JFK. It was interesting. Obviously looked into the Mega Man as well and other stuff. DB Cooper, not because of the chase. I was already looking at those things before the chase came about. I've got videos and CDs of all sorts of things, including Nostradamus, including the Bible Code, including, Egypt and all sorts of things. So, my interests are varied. And I have lots of information about lots of different things. It was all about the bullet. 3 letters of the alphabet that all sound the same. 2 a secret, 1 dead. Ooh, 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Oh, I was talking about that. I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, the good, bad, and the ugly. 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead. The soldier in the cart is dead. And Tuco and Blondie are 2 that can keep a secret because they know where the gold is. And then along comes Angel Eyes, whatever his name is, and he wants to, have the gold for himself. So, yeah, 2 can keep a secret, one of them is dead. Sounds very much like, the soldier's dead, but Tuco and Blondie, between them, have the secret separately. Like one has the cemetery and the other had not the grave, well, the grave, but the grave next to the person, Arch Stanton. Tuco double-crossed Blondie. Did he? Tuco would double-cross anybody. If is the only one living or not. I have no faith in any church, but I'm some faith in God. Yeah, there was a difference. Magic Bullet quoted in the remembrance of Forrest fans. Steve could finally mention the quote. F always said language is what you make. He absolutely did. What does it matter what you're saying as long as the person, understands what it is that you're saying? So the person that you're speaking to, as long as that person understands it, what does it matter? And that's another way of saying words don't mean what you think they do. As long as the person understands it, it doesn't matter what it means, as long as the person understands it. So English, American, Scottish, French, it don't matter, as long as the person understands it. Jesus went to many churches, but he was not the pastor. Dude or dude? Or dodo? Which God you duck? The God of Revelation were judges and they were humans. FF is itself the initials of double blazes. And with that, I bid you good night. It is, oh my word, it's 4. Oh, I missed the 423. I could have had a 423 for Ben then, but it's 429. So that would be D B I. DBI could have been worse, could have been FBI.